Turn that damn jukebox!
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson, as we are live on location today from Alumni Hall here in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue. We're going to be telling you about all the great things that they got going on here. If you come and hang out with us, use that promo code HOGSBY20, get 20% off your first purchase. And Curtis, it's great to be out here once again, surrounded by Razorback gear. Nothing in season right now, but doesn't mean it's not preseason and off-season. We're getting your Razorback gear here at Alumni Hall.
Yeah, they got a lot going on. Are those, did I just see pom-poms outside the door there?
I bet you, yeah, I think you did.
I think I did. There must be some kind of celebration going on or something. Maybe it's because we're here. I don't know.
It has to be. It has to be because of us.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back here, man. I don't guess we've been here since Omaha, right? Since a little bit before Omaha. That's right. So it's really good to be back. The calm before the storm. This is the time to come get all your gear and get set up for football season. Obviously, it's D-Mac and Felix today.
That's right.
Peyton Hills will be back with us next week.
Yeah.
And then, we're doing this together now. So I think we've already kind of cemented the Barney and Fred for Halloween, right?
Yes.
That we're going to do that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yep.
I just want to make sure we get that out of the way. We're good for it now. So great. Yeah, we're in good shape.
Yeah, I got to do the little twinkle toes bowling thing that I think McFadden tried to do, and he probably looked a lot more graceful than I would look doing it. But yeah, they got these new jerseys in, which are really nice jerseys. Obviously, if you're a true Razorback fan and you see somebody with Razorback football wearing number 5 and number 25 together, you know exactly who it is. It's Darren McFadden and Felix Jones. So anybody that's just like, oh, well, who are those numbers? Hey, read a book, all right, and get some Razorback fandom in you, because you need to know exactly who they are. But either way, they got all the great stuff going on here. I mean, they got some new shipments of some Johnny O polo shirts that are over here too, and they have a lot of great stuff there. They got all the hats you would want. They got the jerseys. They got for men, women, kids, everything, and as well as the decor. So come by and see all the great things that they have going on here. Again, use promo code HOGSBY20. And if you can't get here in store, well, just go to that QR code right there on your screen, or insidearkansas.com/alumni hall. Use the promo code there, and they got plenty of things to shop online. They'll get it shipped directly to your door. So
yeah, they do have some new hats over there. I'm scoping those out. I was telling you before the show, when we start coming here in wintertime, like that post, late football season, early basketball season, I got to rock one of those Arkansas hockey jerseys back there. Those things are sick, man.
Yeah, I know. I keep wanting to wear them, but I'm like, I don't want to wear them in the summertime. It's
not today.
Yeah,
not today.
Yeah, get us into that basketball season, hockey season. December, January, February, and we'll be rocking that. It'll be awesome. So. But yeah, come on out and see us again, 3417 North College Avenue right here. We're going to have plenty of things to get to today. We're going to have your best and worst of the week presented by our friends over at Looper Auction and Realty. We're going to have a vibe checking of the chat presented by our friends over at Basis Health. And of course, we'll get into some summer topics presented by our friends at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. But with all the things going on today, I know something that happened at the end of the show yesterday, Curtis, or after the show yesterday, was about President Trump. I don't talk politics. Whoa. I know. Suddenly, the everybody just blew up in the chat. But President Trump signed an executive order here dealing with college athletics, and it's kind of a crazy time of when you start saying that's a real sentence. You have the president of the United States signs an executive order when dealing with college athletics.
He's saving it.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Well, this is exactly what it was. It was a executive order that prohibits third-party pay-for-play payments to college athletes. And, of course, it's titled President Donald J. Trump Saves Sports, College Sports, so on brand there. But either way, we talked about it. There's a huge reaction to this, and I know we'll also talk about Hunter Yurchek's response to this, because he has given one. But when this came out yesterday, I mean, we talked about it. It's just, okay. All right, like, what does this mean? Does it change anything at all?
Yeah, no, that's it was so interesting, because I felt like I was maybe an idiot right away, because everybody's doing the whole thing about this is monumental, this is huge, this is unprecedented, this is going to change the landscape of everything. And I'm like, oh wow, I better go read into this, but it really doesn't. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, it really doesn't. And I think once it kind of settled in, and then they released the facts and the details of the entire deal. And then all of a sudden you see the stories come out from Ross Dellinger or Brandon Marcello or Pete Nakos or whoever saying, yeah, actually, what people thought this was doing, it's really not. Because you talk about prohibiting those third-party pay-for-play payments. And so everybody was automatically like, oh, nope, the whole thing about the collectives the other day, yep, that's going out the window. No, they're just prohibiting something that's already prohibited. Because right there in the language, it says that the exception would be if it's for brand endorsements or those valid business purposes. That was already part of this entire deal, where they've kind of softened the stance on those collectives and everything. So I don't think that it's going to change anything from that standpoint. Now, the couple things that it might do is, one, because he did this, it could kickstart things. It could get the ball rolling a little bit. I know that they're trying to get the SCORE Act passed and everything like that. That might create, just, I don't know, like give the legislatures a kick in the pants to get things going a little bit. He's kind of made some directives to people to kind of follow through on, and come up with a plan for some of these things that he's talking about. One of them's 30 days, another one of them has 60 days to kind of come up with a plan there. We'll see what that looks like. Okay, fine. But the truth is, for this thing, it really, until something gets through Congress and gets passed and then gets a signature from him, there's not going to be a whole lot that changes. And it's so funny. I can't remember who it was. I think it was an agent or maybe a coach that tweeted out, and he was like, okay, so are we supposed to follow the CSC's new guidelines, or the president's, or the NCAA's, or like whose are we really following here? So there's a lot of questions that still remain unanswered. But the one thing that I think it does do kind of effective immediately is, kind of upgrade those scholarship opportunities for women's sports, for Olympic sports. And sounds like there might be a little bit of a rev share component there as well. But outside of that is a little bit misleading and kind of a nothing burger, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I took it too, where it's just about the explosiveness of the president of the United States doing it. Like anybody could have said this. You could have had any politician do it, here in a state. You could have Greg Sankey, anybody could do and say something like this, and people would have some reaction to it. But when it's the president of the United States of America, and he's coming out and he's like, I have signed this, and you see all the reports, everyone's like, oh my goodness, the highest authority here in the country got involved. But as you laid it out, it doesn't change anything. And the first thing I read was basically talking about market value and how it's, it has to be fair market value. And as we keep telling you to talk about, I'm like, that's such a vague thing, because the market value, you can't just say, unless it says in the law or in the order or whatever, that the market value is going to be decided 100% by the NIL clearinghouse or whoever. Then I'm like, so who is the one deciding the market value? Because how people think, and I think how the American people feel, like if you have somebody that's like, I'm going to pay you $1 million to play basketball for me, that's the market value, because you have somebody willing to pay it for you and pay you that. So I just didn't understand. I mean, at the time, I get why people are reporting it and all of that, but I just didn't understand really what changed. And so seeing Hunter Yurachek, the athletic director of Arkansas, who's always on Twitter and really keeping everybody up to date on everything, he did finally tweet today, actually, right before the show started. Perfect timing for us. But he said, quote, I am excited about the positive impact that President Trump's executive order can have on the future of college athletics. Our Razorback student athletes across all 19 sports, past and present, have benefited from a life-changing academic and athletic experience. This executive order will help provide those same opportunities for our future Razorbacks and student athletes across the country. Okay.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I'm fine with that response. Now, he is getting ratioed brutally for that. But you know what? So was Greg Murn. Like I saw his thing go out. So was John Calipari.
Yep.
So was, anybody else who put anything out there, because it's political by nature. Even if you're just responding to, the executive orders themselves, buddy, when you get involved, like there's no escaping it, right? And so people are going to be on either side of the aisle there, and you're going to get criticized, and it's wild. We don't have to get too deep into that. But for Hunter Yurachek, it has nothing to do. Nobody is responding to what he just tweeted out. I was just looking at his mentions, and it was very much everything else that people have an axe to grind for. So, some people, kudos to him for not turning his comments off. You can turn off the comments on certain things, but it comes across as soft, and then everybody's quote tweeting you or whatever. He's not doing that. He's just wearing it. He probably doesn't read them, but I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't shut those down yet.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what he tweets at this point in time. I mean, he could actually tweet hey, we got this going on and it's really good. And then everybody's like, oh man, just you're terrible. Go home, get fired. Learn to speak Chinese. Just anything that they can just throw out there to try to get after him. So you can't really read all the comments from that, but it still is something to where goes back to what we've talked about. When we hear comments from him and when we hear responses from him, it's always dealing with something like this because he didn't respond after like we talked about earlier this week when the actual attorneys came in and ruled in favor of the plaintiff saying, hey, NIL collectives actually can be considered part of the business. Like he didn't say anything for that.
Yeah.
But when it's something in this type of favor, I guess the whole thing is you don't have to wonder what side of the aisle or what side of the argument he is on this. He very much makes it clear it's on this side and throwing his full support out there for it. It's just a matter of, okay, but what is this doing? Like what is this going to change? Is it going to change anything? How much of the focus that are you putting into this compared to other things? Like there's just a lot of questions there.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that 100%. It's kind of interesting to me when you see some of these things that come out and it's like, okay, so they're very clearly making an attempt to by like putting in some guardrails and regulating. They're trying to the boosters, the donor activity, and all that. But they're also trying to limit or dictate how much a student athlete can earn.
Yes.
And so when they send out these tweets or they have these responses or whatever, and it's always, this is great for our student athletes. This is a win for our student athletes. Our student athletes now have opportunities they've never had before. Then it's easy if you're a college football fan or a college basketball fan or whatever to look at it and be like, the heck are you talking about, man? Like you're trying to cap what these guys are capable of doing here and capitalizing on from a financial standpoint. But student athlete, it's such an all-encompassing term. And so this is a good thing. It is a benefit for the other guys, quote unquote. And that's why I do think that this is potentially a good deal for women's sports and for
sure.
the Olympic sports. And that was part of the thought process in the executive order. And it was a majority of what John Calipari was talking about in his statement, where he was like, hey, this is getting us closer to just having some more clarity on everything, which is what he's been screaming for about the transfer portal and all that. So I know he likes it from that standpoint. But more than that, he was like, I want to help families. And he kind of put that in his whole speech there. But he was like, this is for equality for our women's sports, the Olympic sports, all that. And immediately everybody was in his comments and they're like, oh, so no, PayPal Cal. You don't like the pay for play now all of a sudden. Oh, that's crazy. What's going on here? You cheated your whole life or whatever. It's like, that's not even what he's talking about. But I do think it can get confusing for people because you can look at it and be like, how in the world is this a good thing for student athletes when you're trying to cut them off or get into their slice of the pie that they probably deserve here? But it's just a complex issue. Man.
Yes,
it really is.
And that's what's the thing I think people have to remember is it is very complex. And I am not insulting anybody because I am this way, but I'm a very simple-minded sports fan. Just like, hey, I just want my football team to be good. Like that's how it is. It's like anything that helps that. We don't care about the minutia. How is this going to help our team be good again? How's it going to help us win games? And I think that's how the majority of fans are, where yes, it does impact it and they want to be in the know of it, but it's not just as simple as cut and dry, black and white, this is what happens. Like there's just so many moving parts to it. And I think everybody, when it was the NCAA or whoever, there was still a lower level of authority. But now that you have the federal government getting involved and state governments getting involved, it's no longer just a simple NCAA issue. Now it's like, these are the laws of the land. These are the politicians that you're voting in the office that are doing some stuff with it.
It gets very, very confusing at this point. It goes back to the tweet that I was talking about earlier, where people are literally looking at this now, and it's like, well, like what was the entire point of this House settlement? What's the point of the College Sports Commission? What's the point of Deloitte and the NIL Go Clearinghouse? Do we follow those guidelines? Is it this executive order and whoever it is you're putting in charge is like an enforcement arm, or like what are the rules even look like? Does the NCAA even exist anymore? It's like, who the heck are we supposed to listen to when it comes to all this? And the answer, frankly, especially for the haves as opposed to the have-nots, is nobody. Business as usual, keep doing your thing. And because the truth is, anytime that they come up with something tangible here, there's going to be resistance to it. So it's going to take a while for things to get through the courts. And when they do, there's going to be so many concessions put in place to get the votes that you need that it's going to be watered down anyway. And then if there are things that the agents don't like, or the athletes don't like, or the coaches don't like, or the NCAA doesn't like, they're going to create new legislation, or they're going to sue, and there's going to be more lawsuits. Things are going to continue to get hung up, and it's just going to continue to be a convoluted mess. Like, this is not going to end anytime soon.
No, like anybody that thinks that a year from now everything's going to be fixed and fine and dandy, it's an impossibility.
No.
Like, you know how tough it was getting the NCAA to go through anything, and you got so many more people involved and so many more important factors of it too. So it's just a crazy time, and to see, I just seen. I know it's not insane now, but just thinking that you have John Calipari talking about President Trump and on an executive order that he put through. Like, it's just what? It's like, you seeing the athletic director of the University of Arkansas talking about what something that the president did. And usually it's about, if he would have told me this a couple of years ago, I'd be like, oh man, getting into politics and it's like, no, it's something that is just, it's gotten to this point, and it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, we just want sports. We want sports to be fun. We want players to play. We want the teams to compete. And here at Inside Arkansas, we're going to keep talking about the Razorbacks win or loss. Win or lose, it doesn't matter.
The funny thing about it too is that, and I've seen Trump do this a number of times, and I'm sure it's just a thing that presidents do. I mean, Biden, Clinton, whoever probably did the same things, but he literally just kind of sits there in the Oval Office, and there's like a gaggle of cameras around, and then somebody brings him an executive order, and there'll be like 5 or 6 of them at a time. It's like, oh, this is the one. Oh, this is where you're gonna, like whatever it was for the, it was like the homeless thing or something. But he had like 5 or 6 of those yesterday, and they just hand him the binder, and it's like, this is what this one is. Just sign it. And he's like, oh, okay. And here's where you save college sports. He's like, oh yeah, that's good.
I've always wanted to save college sports.
Yeah, that people like this after they had me on South Park yesterday. You know what I mean? It's just, it's like I don't know, man.
I know
how much involvement he actually had in that, but he certainly signed off on it, and here we are.
Here we are. So. Is indeed. Here we are. It is indeed. But we're going to get to some of your chats. Again, folks, we're live at Alumni Hall here in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue. Stop by and see us, and use that code HOGSBY20 for 20% off of your purchase. But I want to remind everybody that here on Inside Arkansas, we're brought to you by our friends over at BetSaracen. It's the #1 sports betting app in the state of Arkansas. If you're somebody who's looking to get in on the future bets for college football, if you're feeling great about the Razorbacks, if you think they're going to win the SEC, you know what? BetSaracen has the odds on that. And I'm going to tell you, they're very high. They're very high. So if you want to put down $2 and Arkansas pulls off a miracle to pull a rabbit out of their hat and they win the SEC, you'll be a very rich person. So BetSaracen has it all for you. They got that. They also have Major League Baseball going on as well. All the different things for college football in the SEC when it comes to your sports betting. So check it out today. It's BetSaracen. You can download the app or on the iPhone or on the Android, or you can check them out at BetSaracen.com. Okay, a few of your chats here dealing with this, which also, by the way, we had somebody read my tag and see how much this jersey is, because somebody was asking me in the chat of how much this jersey was. And
$130.
$130. So there you go. It's the official Nike branded team apparel. So so $130. So if you do that, use the code HOGSBY20, 20% off of that. So come and check it out.
The ones that have touched our skin are actually $130.99 at this point.
Yeah, about to say, they probably went up in price, went up in value after us wearing them. So just to let you know, we're not going to, and here's the deal. We'll talk to Jolie over here. She doesn't want to go on camera. That's fine. She's the manager
crazy.
here. Yeah. Maybe next time. But she was telling me that we may have to have these jerseys put at the front, and then those will be the first ones that get purchased, as the ones we're wearing.
There we go.
Forget McFadden and Felix Jones wearing them. Yeah. We wore them, so we're gonna have to up it. She didn't say any of that. I'm just making it up, and I had to give her a hard time over there. But
showered this morning. The Sydney Sweeney soap.
Yes. Yeah. We're fully clean over here. Especially when you have soap coming from Sydney Sweeney or whatever she's got going on. But either way, a few chats here. Let's see. Just like it from Heartbroken Hog, he just says that intro gets me so hyped. By the time it gets to Pittman, I'm screaming to turn up the damn jukebox alone in my house. So. Good.
It's me going.
I know.
That's some really good work. And the one that we had with the old regime, on the old John Neighbor show, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
This one is just it's well done.
Yeah. What's crazy is that one was done by a professional. This one was just done by me. Well, because I watched a YouTube video on Adobe Premiere and how to do it. So it's amazing how that happens.
Well, when you randomly text me and you're like, do you have any short John Calipari clips you can send me right now? And so I just hopped in my phone and I had the one. That was my only contribution to this, but I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, it works out perfectly. But I'm glad people are enjoying it. That's for sure. Hogball Burner says all it means is more Tyson Nugget Arkansas athlete commercials.
No, I mean, honestly, that's a big part of this, because that is true. You know, like they're softening their stance, the CSC, on collectives, and you know, like they're going to be able to go a little bit higher with what needs to be submitted or what doesn't, because it's like 600 for the standard NIL deal.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff for the collectives is up to 5,000, but you have to have those valid business purpose. Like you have to prove that it's not just pay for play. And what those guidelines are going to look like, who knows? But that's going to be part of it. Is, you know, whether it's you could just do an NIL type thing with Tyson, and it's you know, DJ Wagner eating a Tyson nugget, or if you got to prove, like, you know, being a brand ambassador or whatever, if it's from the Arkansas Edge Collective, then it's as simple as being on their promotional materials at you know, at Razorback Stadium, when it's like, hey, donate to, you know, Edge today or whatever, or go to a speaking engagement or sign an autograph, or when you sign up for this tier of the Arkansas Edge membership, you get a signed, you know, Malik Thomas, whatever. It's just stuff like that they would have to do to prove that value that they're getting back from the investments and everything.
What I would love is that, because there's a lot of athletes, in fact, probably most student athletes want to have the benefit of making the money, but also increasing their brand. Like most of them would. But there are certain athletes, probably in basketball, that probably don't have to have the increase of brand. So if it was them, I would just say, hey, here's $1 million. Just give me a thumbs up and put it on Instagram for the collective. And there's $1 million for that.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it's worth. Malik Thomas, like $1 million. Just give me a thumbs up. I would just do the bare minimum to make them happy to get them paid, but also not to bother them too much if they're not interested in increasing their brand. Because there are going to be some that are not in that too. So shout out. We got a super chat from Judah. Says Arkansas will beat Notre Dame. Lock me in. Okay, well, we heard it here. We heard it here first. Lock it in. The Arkansas beating Notre Dame.
In the blue book.
Golly, Randy Rainwater's blue book. Got to give me a score prediction, and the tiebreaker being of how many rushing yards is Taylor Green going to have. And that's what'll be done. But yes, that's something. We'll see. You know what? Here's the deal. If Arkansas is undefeated going into that Notre Dame game, I am 100% going to pick Arkansas to win. 100%. Mm-hmm. But if they're not, if they've lost just one game, I'm not going to pick them. But if they've beaten Ole Miss, I guess what would that be? It would be Memphis and Ole Miss have been the big ones in Arkansas State and Alabama A&M. If they went off, if they're 4-0 going to Notre Dame, I'm 1,000% picking them to win.
And if they're 4-0 going in the Notre Dame game, they'll be top 20 in the country
easily.
So
yeah. So because they'll want to. What a great thing. Do you think there'll be a chance College Game Day will be there? I mean, that's what people are going to start throwing around.
Yeah.
No, they're going to find a way not to. They're just refusal to do anything with Game Day in Arkansas.
We've got to have that beef, that argument, that conversation at least once a year, regardless if Arkansas is any good or not. We have to have it. So
I think that discussion has happened more than, like the whole, hey, Arkansas's path to the playoffs. It's more of like Arkansas's path to getting College Game Day in Fayetteville. Like who they have to beat, and where they have to be ranked. What about what other games are going on that weekend, that could take it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of math that gets thrown around there to try to figure out how to get College Game Day to Fayetteville. So let's see. Also, Heartbroken Hog just says, to be 100% honest, I don't care about anything Hunter Yurachek has to say until football is a winning program again.
Well, I got good news for you, Heartbroken Hog. They were 7-6 last season.
That's winning. So, by rule. Check the math.
You might need to start caring about what he says again.
Yeah.
Just,
Yep. I'm telling you. You're going to be the same way I am, Heartbroken Hog. All it's going to take is them looking dominant in those first two games, and it's going to get you back in.
Yeah.
And you're going to start saying, man, Ole Miss they didn't look too good this year so far. And
this could be this will definitely be the year where they'll beat Alabama A&M like they did UAPB or whatever. Yep. And people aren't going to, I don't think they'll go off the deep end for that, but they'll do the, competition. But I saw some things that I like. There's some things that'll translate there. But they beat the brakes off of Arkansas State, who's not very good. But given the circumstances, that's when people are going to be like, oh, Ole Miss.
Yeah. Yeah, Ole Miss.
Who?
I think Ole Miss plays Kentucky before they play Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken. I think we do. Yeah. So everyone's going to be like, if they only beat Kentucky by 10 points, I'm man, Ole Miss, they're gettable, and we got some stuff dialed up for them. What Bobby Cook, you just watch. Yeah. I mean, I'm already ready for it. We're preparing for it.
And I think regardless of what happens the first 2 weeks, I'm going to be going into that Ole Miss game. I don't know if I'll pick Arkansas to win it on the road, but I'll very much be in this is a game that they could win.
Yeah.
Like I think it's going to be a competitive one. But if they get past Ole Miss and get to 3-0, that's when I'm going to be a huge believer.
Oh yeah, no, listen,
I'll be going crazy, and then they'll lose.
Yeah, well, then you know what? That's fine. But
Yeah.
if you can just give me the 1 week, one full week of true, legitimate excitement and hope that this could be something,
Yes,
that'll be enough for me. I know that they will find a way to probably lose to Memphis, but if they can just go 3-0, beat Ole Miss, that week is going to be fun. It's going to be a fun week leading up into it.
Yeah.
And man, I know we're starting to talk ourselves into it, but if they found a way to beat Memphis too, that Notre Dame game, it's already going to be electric, but it's going to be awesome if it's 11 a.m. Dadgummit.
I know.
Sucks.
More than anything, I want that for Fayetteville. I want that for Razorback fans to be able to have that, because it's cool that you're not opening in Little Rock this year, but it's still Alabama A&M or Alabama State. Who is it? A&M?
Alabama A&M,
okay.
Yeah. Which was actually supposed to be somebody better. I don't know if you remember. It was like a year or two ago. They changed it.
I think I do remember that.
I don't know who now saying better is like some other Sun Belt team or whatever. But they weren't scheduled to play an FCS opponent. But I think when the Memphis thing happened, they're like, okay, we need somebody.
Right.
We need somebody to beat the
it's
crap
like
out of.
At least you get to play at home before October or whatever. But yeah, when you get Notre Dame coming in, because that's been a game that people have been anticipating for a long time. It's cool.
Yep.
It's unique. It's like when Duke came to Bud Walton, for the ACC Challenge a couple years ago. It's just something that you don't see that often on your home turf there, home grass. So I hope that Arkansas is in a position where people are fired up, excited. Minimum 3-1.
Yes.
Minimum 3-1. Like if you whatever. If you lose to Ole Miss, first SEC game of the season on the road, but then you bounce back and you beat a Memphis team who is not on your level, but they're very good for where they're at. And if you beat them by, a couple touchdowns or something, you just got to have a little bit of momentum. Give us a reason to build it up that entire week and do something cool. I really hope that happens.
Me too, man. Me too. Let's see. We'll actually continue to talk about that and get into the chat, because I think that it's an interesting discussion that I've wanted to have at least for a bit now, but I feel like that's a good segue. But we'll do that here in a second. But I want to remind everybody that here on Inside Arkansas, we're brought to you by our friends over at Hickey and Hull Law. We know that divorce and custody cases here in the state of Arkansas are so crucial to you, and it's tough to try and face it alone. That's why Hickey and Hull Law will provide you with persistent and diligent representation to help guide you through the entire process, because they've handled thousands of cases like this, and they're the experts in it. I know that it's something that you have a lot of passion about, and it's something that you want to make sure that you get what's owed to you and that everything's done fairly. It's a scary thing, but Hickey and Hull is always going to take care of you with that, because they're the foundation of a strong attorney-client relationship with honesty as well as trust. So have Hickey and Hull Law offices help you out. They have offices across the state of Arkansas, right here in Fayetteville, also in Fort Smith, Little Rock, Mena, all across the state. And you can call them today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. Or you can check out their website at hickeyandhull.com. You can also scan that QR code. It's Hickey and Hull Law. Things are about to get better. All right, so bringing that up with the chat and about the Razorback schedule and everything, people have been bringing up how difficult it is. I've brought up how difficult it is. You've brought up how difficult it is, but there's nothing you can do about it. That's the schedule. It's in front of you. And I'll give credit. Danny West actually tweeted this out. I don't know. I meant to send this to you, Curse, but I'm sure you saw it. But he said, bringing up Missouri, because that's what comparisons do. He said, Missouri joined the SEC in 2012 and has opened conference play at home as many times as Arkansas has since 2004. He said the Razorbacks are the only team starting SEC play on the road for the third straight year this season. Said week 3 at Ole Miss will mark the 10th SEC start away from home in 12 years for Arkansas. And with that, as well as the other things that have been going on with the schedule when it comes to having the tough road stretch and everything, it's like, that's an interesting stat. And I'm not even saying like Danny's making excuses or anything like that, but there is kind of a conversation that seems to be had about, Razorback football schedule. It's so tough, man. How do you expect Arkansas? How do you expect Sam Pittman to succeed? I mean, good grief. If they go 5-7, I mean, can you really fire the guy because of how difficult the schedule is? I mean, come on. What do you expect out of him?
Boo-hoo, man.
Yes.
Boo-hoo. I'm so tired of this schedule stuff being used as a crutch. It's very difficult.
Yep.
It absolutely is. This is the SEC, bud. Like they're all difficult. Every team in this Missouri included has a top 25 schedule strength going into this season. And we can talk about the they've started on the road 3 years in a row. I would feel some type of way about that if you didn't suck at home.
That's true. Yeah.
It's not like home field advantage has really been a thing for Arkansas here recently. Oh man, look at these road. You got LSU on the road. You got Texas on the road. You got them on the road. This on the road. You had them all at home last year,
and
you won one of those games.
Barely.
You won one of them.
Yeah.
It's like you had the inverse of that last season. You scheduled Notre Dame. You scheduled the game on the road at Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you have 3 SEC games in a row at home this year. When's the last time that happened?
I can't remember. Yeah.
And like the whole thing about Arkansas getting screwed and stuff, they did the year that they did the 10-game schedule. That was absolutely egregious, man. That was nuts. Outside of that, it sucked for you because you were in the West.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how I feel about it. Now, yeah, this is a difficult one this year. That's the breaks of the schedule. You knew that it was going to flip the home and road stuff. But at the end of the day, I look at it and I see, well, you don't have Bama. You don't have Georgia. That's nice. Yeah, you got to go to LSU, but you avoid Death Valley at night,
which is big.
You know, like you've got A&M again, but hey, at least it's not the Southwest Classic that you actually get them in your building for the first time and who knows how long. It's very difficult. All the teams are hard and everything like that, but the whole thing about them getting just completely screwed over and stuff, I'm not buying it as much. And then some of the things that you that you do look at and you raise a brow about, like starting on the road so many years in a row, it's like, okay, fine. But if you were winning your home games, then I would be like, yeah, this does suck.
Mm-hmm. No, because see, that's how I take it, to where it's become a comical thing of, our tale as old as time, Arkansas has a tough schedule, and 100% true. And I've even felt like, going into the year, there's a chance that Arkansas could be a better team fully, but have a worse win-loss record because of the schedule. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But it's never going to be something that you can just look at and say, well, we got to lower the expectations this season for the coach or for the team or for the fans because the schedule's so tough. No, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all. You said you made the schedule for the non-conference. You chose that. And yes, the Notre Dame game at home is great. Like, I'm loving that. Awesome. That should happen. Yeah. And to home and home. I do not know why you're playing in Memphis. I have no idea who decided that. I have even if it's because I believe it's a 2-for-1 deal too, where you get Memphis at home twice. It doesn't matter. You should never have scheduled that team. You should be doing the things like the Big Ten was talking about. Hey, get one of those SEC schedules. Get it as easy as humanly possible in the non-conference. Yes, those marquee games are great to have, especially if they're at home. But at the same time, if it means, like, listen, you think Sam Pittman would rather play Notre Dame at home this year or a Colorado State at home or somebody like that, to where there's a better chance of them going 4-0 in conference games? Now, you may say, well, I want my coach to win every game no matter what. And I totally agree. But if it's about wins and losses, which is what it comes down to, I want the easiest schedule that you can control. You can't do anything about the SEC. I mean, the SEC is going to make it, and that's just the way it is. You can't make everybody happy. But when it comes to your own choices, you're the ones that have to do this. You chose to play Arkansas State and Little Rock. You chose to play Memphis on the road, and you chose to play Notre Dame all in the same year. That was your choosing. So because you chose that, I don't have any sympathy for you.
Yeah.
You got to go out and win.
Yeah, I'm with you. And we'll see what happens if and when they wind up going to a 9-game SEC schedule, what that might wind up looking like. But the other thing about it, too, is, yeah, again, it does. It sucks that you have to go on the road and play these games, this year. You play half of them on the road, you play half of them at home. At least that's the way it's supposed to be, and the way that it will be now that you're done with the weird A&M thing. And maybe they're done with the Little Rock deal. We don't know. It's up to the governor.
Apparently,
but, you also get an historically bad team in the league at home.
Yes.
Like, you got Mississippi State coming to your place. That should be a guaranteed, penciled-in, Sharpied win. I'm sorry that you didn't also get Kentucky this year or something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
You've got Auburn, who's very, very iffy and has been down in probably one of the bigger down stretches that they've had at home. Coming to your place with their coach on the hot seat. That's a good thing. Like, I'm sorry you didn't get, who do you want on the end? Vanderbilt? Do you want that?
Yeah.
Comparatively speaking, I don't know.
Diego Pavia coming in? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough, man. It's a tricky one. And I think where I'm at with it, because I know the question keeps getting asked, like, well, is 6-6 acceptable this season? Like, if you take the team and the schedule and everything like that. And my thought process on it is, Actually, yes,
Mm-hmm.
it is, because you, based on the roster that you have, and then partially because I think people see that schedule, you are projected to finish 14th in the SEC.
Yep.
14th. So if you go 6-6, you have exceeded your preseason expectations.
Yep.
So is that acceptable in this particular year? Yes. Is it acceptable for the program to be in a position where those are the expectations in year 6 of a regime? No, absolutely not. That is not the case.
No.
And I think those can be two separate conversations.
Yeah, because I'll look at it this way, because I know we'll get to the chat and everything, but if you had last year's schedule this year going into it, where you had the same thing, had those 4 SEC home games, you had Oklahoma State on the road and everything, I don't think that's changing anybody's feeling going into this year if the schedule was the same. Because it's like, oh, well, in that case, I'm going to pick Arkansas to finish 11th in the SEC. Right. It's like, no, they picked a finish of what type of team they think you are. And I brought this up so many times, and some may disagree, but I'm like, how is it that the schedule and the toughness of it only gets brought up when your team is struggling? You know, when you're a great team, nobody's bringing up, oh, we're getting screwed again by the schedule. It's like, and it becomes a talking point. It's like, it's only a talking point when you are so in a position where you're not that good and you're desperate for wins. So it's like, well, you know what, how the schedule doesn't become difficult? When you win those games and you beat those teams. Last year, you won 1 game at home against Tennessee. You know, were they number 4, I believe, in the country at the time? Something, the top 5.
That's right.
Yeah. So you won that game. That's great. But then you also went on the road to Mississippi State and Auburn, and you won those games. And then you throw in the other ones of ones you should have won. The A&M game, you were in a great position to win. The Missouri game, you were in a great position to win. You also had, Texas ended up beating you by 10, but it's not like they were just destroying you. Like, there were opportunities for you to play better than what you did. And you didn't, like Oklahoma State, you lost on the road. Like, when they went 0-9 in the Big 12 last year. Yeah. So again, you look at it now, but then you look at it in hindsight and you're like, geez, yeah, that schedule was so difficult. But how did we lose to Oklahoma State? You know, right. How did we allow the game against Texas A&M once again to go against us? How did we allow the Missouri game to get out? Like, it's always hindsight, and it's always just about, looking at the difficulty after the fact and not looking at it as, hey, you're still an SEC team. You can't use it as an excuse. You just got to go out and win games because there's nothing you can do about it. Zero. So if you took Arkansas' schedule and you handed it to Alabama or Georgia, would their expectations change? Nope, not a second.
They wouldn't.
Not a second.
And so again, like the question to me is, what are you trying to be as a program? Yeah. What's acceptable versus what's not.
Yeah, because dude, even Missouri's schedule that we always bring up, I'm like, if Arkansas had that this year, would I think a little bit higher of them? Sure. But am I going to be like, 10 wins? No. I'll be like, 6-6, maybe 7. It doesn't change anything. It's a matter of your mindset about the team itself. It's the mindset of the team itself. So, again, schedule, it's going to come here. And then bet you anything at the end of the season this next year, which hopefully it's a good one for Arkansas. But we'll kind of go back and look at it and be like, man, remember when we thought that team was going to be so tough to beat, and then they end up being one of the worst teams in the SEC? Or, hey, remember when we thought that was going to be an easy win, and then that team ended up being really good and a lot better? It's always going to change up in that way. So
right, and I do see a couple folks in the chat that are just very irritated at the thought that Arkansas is not just automatically better than a 6-6 football team this year. It's like crazy that we're even talking about this. And again, I just want to point out, I do hope that they are better than that,
too.
but there is a reason why they are projected 14th in the league. That doesn't mean it's right. Most times those projections aren't correct. Some teams that are picked to do really well don't. Some teams that are picked to stink or not be very good or better than advertised. But my point is, even getting to 6-6 would be exceeding the broad expectations for this football program. I would not be surprised at all if they did. In fact, that's probably about where I am in terms of where I would project this team going into the next season. But it's not, it's not like we're looking at an Arkansas team here that's preseason top 25, in everybody's minds, and people were saying, well, can they get to 6 wins because of the schedule? No, it's a combination of people don't think they're going to be very good, and they got a really difficult road to get to that point. We'll see. Like Sam says, he likes his team. He feels good about where they're at. He has all these reasons for optimism. That's great. I think those are the things that we need to as a fan base, lean on if you're looking for reasons for optimism, why they'll be better than people think they're going to be, why you can have that chip on your shoulder. Now they just got to go out there and do it.
Yes.
And so, you know, if you think that it's crazy that, you know, saying, oh, 6 wins, what? They're way better than that. Okay, well, so is your expectation what? 8, 9? You know, where are you at with that? Would 6-6 be disappointment for you? Is that grounds for termination for you? You know what I mean? Like, so the conversation can go in a bunch of different directions, I think.
Yeah. By the way, folks, reminder, we're here at Alumni Hall in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue, where we're going to be out here until about close to 2 o'clock today. And come see us and get your promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off and get these awesome jerseys that are just in, brand new. Darren McFadden and Felix Jones, or I was trying to think, was it Rocket Sanders? And I don't even know who another 25 is, to be honest. I know that they've had some, but it's like they've had too many 5s. But 25s, I feel like, has been pretty rare as far as any players wearing them. I know that they have, but, you know, number 5, you've had Rakeem Boyd, you've had Tremaine Thomas, you've had quite a few there. Who's 25 on the year team this year?
Tavion Wallace.
Oh, okay, the freshman.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. So,
did they have a 25 last year? I don't know that they did.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they did.
I guess not.
Okay.
Oh, no, this thing is all weird.
Oh, probably because they removed the players that transferred out.
Yeah.
Is what they probably did.
It was Anthony Switzer last year. Okay, I respect that.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's kind of a popular linebacker-ish number.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine there. Okay. So, but yeah, folks, we're live here at Alumni Hall. They got these great jerseys, all the great stuff with Johnny O, brand new here in stock, and they got plenty of it for all men, women, and kids when it comes to your Razorback apparel. So you can also shop them online at InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. Use that code HOGSBY20 for 20% off. We'll get to your chats more and doing a little vibe check presented by my friends over at Basis Health. We know that Basis Health is changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. A doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. Basis Health, they are here for you when and where you need them the most. You can check them out more at basishealth.org today. That's basishealth.org today. Shout out to our guy Dre for being partners with us here at Inside Arkansas. Okay, a few more of your chats, folks. Shout out to Lucas for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. He says, hey, fellas, love and appreciate all the great content. He said, Curtis, what's the name of the joint here in Virginia Beach that Hog fans go to?
Yes. This was crazy. And I think I actually told the story last time we were here.
Yeah, I think you did too.
But me and Michelle were in Virginia Beach. It's kind of out by where we got married. That's where we did our little, our gender reveal cake and everything. We made a little vacation of it. And no sooner than got back home off the airplane and had a message from a Razorback fan out there that said, hey, next time you're in Virginia Beach, let me know. We have a huge Razorback group. There's like a huge contingent of Razorback fans in Virginia Beach. And it makes sense because it's like a very big military area, like a Navy area. There's a base out there and everything. So probably a lot of people who are from the state that are stationed out there, maybe living out there now. But they meet at CP Shuckers on the ocean front.
CP Shuckers.
And I've been there, and the place is awesome.
Yeah.
CP Shuckers on the ocean front. And they get together and talk hogs, watch the games, everything like that. So that is your spot, Lucas, if you're trying to get out there.
I would do this if I have time. I would make a website or a social media or something dedicated to just where Razorback fans meet up in major cities. Just have it so if you're, hey, I'm in town for this, there's the game on, where the Razorback, you could just look up on this website or whatever, be like, all right, I'm in, Sheboygan or whatever. Be like, where's the Razorback fans in Sheboygan meet? And they go, to the PF Chang's or what, I don't know, just throwing something out there. But yeah, just have it to where people can go between Snookers and what was it called? H&R shoving stuff, or what was it that you
CP Shuckers?
CP Shuckers, yeah, whatever it is. Like, that's you got to have a great bar name, and that's a good one there. All right, so let's see. Heartbroken Hog also says, I don't agree. 6-6 would be good. Should be 7-5 at least, or Pittman should be gone. It's year 6. No excuses should be accepted.
Yeah,
yeah.
And there's just so many other factors that go into this, but if we're talking about just sheer trajectory of the program, I do think that you're to the point where not only is regression, it's just something that you can't have, but staying stagnant isn't either.
Yes.
And, oh, wow, congratulations, one more win. Well, going from 6-6 to 7-5, and if we're going to have this big conversation about the schedule and how much more difficult it is, well, if you were able to navigate that and get one extra win, I see that as a sign of progress. Personally, I do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, big picture, you're fine with 7-5, you accept mediocrity. No, I don't. But I'm also not an unreasonable man. I'm not going to sit here with a team 14th in the league and say, well, if they don't go 9-3, it's ridiculous. You got to get this guy out of here. I don't think that that's fair. Personally, if the barometer now is how you perform this season, I need to see progress personally. And then the other part of it is, we'll see what happens with all this other stuff, because we had the hot seat conversation. Is he on it? Is he not? Who's got the pressure? Who doesn't? Yesterday, if this is the revenue share world that we're going to live in, with things more even keel, then I think you give Sam another year regardless. Unless he's like, if you go 4-8 or something, sorry, man, we can't have that. But if it was another 6-6 type of deal, let him prove what he's talking about. Where if we're on a level playing field, we feel like this can be a 9-win program. And the things that he was saying at SEC Media Day, it sounds like things are shifting away from that.
Right.
At which point that might change that conversation altogether. I think.
Yeah. No, I didn't see. My thing is too, it's about the trajectory of what you're doing. And I'm not saying this would be Arkansas this year, but people like, for instance, here's a great example of it. In 2014, you went 7-6. With the bowl victory over the Texas Longhorns in the Texas Bowl. You went 2-6 in SEC play. You beat LSU and Ole Miss, shut them out back-to-back weeks. The next year, you went 7-5. That's one game better. But what was the difference? Instead of going 2-6 in SEC play, you went 5-3. But you lost to Texas Tech and you lost to Toledo. So I say that because you look at it from that picture and you're like, that team was not much better than what it was a year ago. Went 7-5, which make that argument. However, if you looked on the field and you saw the team and how they performed, you're like, yeah, this team was light years better than the team before because they won 5 SEC games and should have won more. Point is, sometimes you have to look at it in that perspective of, okay, if they go 6-6 with this schedule, no one's popping champagne bottles saying this is the greatest year ever. But if some of those 6 wins include a win over, Texas, or something epic in Notre Dame, then that's going to add just some extra juice. But if you go 6-6, well, I guess I can't even say that because if you're going to go 6-6, you're going to have to upset at least one major team because of the schedule. But still, if you won 3 non-conference games and then your 3 SEC wins were against Missouri, Auburn, Mississippi State, like that's not going to inspire anybody. That's not going to feel great about it. But if that included a Texas win or a Notre Dame win or LSU on the road or something, it changes people's minds and the perspective of it too. So
I think so too. Yeah, and it's a very good point. Like the optics of how it would all go down, and maybe that means it could be something as simple as just taking care of business at home.
I would love that.
I mean,
nice.
What if you just think about the SEC and you've got Mississippi State, Auburn, Texas A&M, Missouri at home? Well, just win those games.
Yeah.
You win those 4 games, and then you win 3 of the 4 non-con. Say you lose to Notre Dame, whatever, and there's 6 right there without doing a single thing on the road. You just win your home games like football teams are supposed to.
Yeah.
So,
do those things, and it's amazing how people will feel and how differently people will feel.
Right.
Dakota also said Ben Souders' comment on Danny's post, good. I'm glad he did. That's a mentality I like to have because when Danny said how difficult it was and being on the road, it's like have the mentality of who cares? Great. Awesome.
And I also think remember the year they opened the season with Auburn? Like
2014,
you started the year with an SEC game. Now, was that at home or
that was on the road?
It was on the road.
Because it was the very first SEC network football game.
Okay. And so if that was the case, if they were doing that every year and it was the 3rd year in a row for an Arkansas, I'd be like, okay, this is crazy. But, when you've already got 2 games under your belt and you've already been, away from your own building and everything like that, it's just, you're going to have to go on the road. 4 times, actually, in SEC play every year. And then you're going to get your home games, 4 of them, unless you're Arkansas doing the stupid stuff that you have been, but you're past that now.
Yes.
It's like it's going to even out regardless. So if it's not the season opener, to me, it's like, all right, if you already worked out your kinks for a couple weeks and, you're in week 3 or week 4 or whatever it winds up being on a given year, I'm not that broken up about where you play. What was frustrating to me was when that's been the case for Arkansas, when, their first SEC game is on the road, and then you're also opening in Little Rock, and then you're also doing the thing in College Station, and then it winds up being your first SEC home game is until like October 15th or something ridiculous. That's crazy to me. But opening the SEC slate on the road, I really don't think it's that big of a deal, personally.
No, and also, you're the one that played in A&M and call it in Arlington for 18 years or whatever it was. What do you want the SEC to do? Just like coming back, well, we know that this is a home game technically for you in Arlington, but we're going to make it to where you still have a home game before then. It's like you can't.
We're just gonna change our entire scheduling model for all 16 teams because of your poor choices.
Yeah. No, and he's not
that.
going to get that. No one's going to get that. So it's, again, I understand the sentiment of it, but also too in the SEC, Curtis, and you know this, it balances itself out. And some, like, yeah, you may have that negative, but there's a positive on the other side of it, because it's not like they're giving you 5 SEC road games and only 3 home games. Like, you get 3 straight home games in a row against arguably your easiest stretch of the season. You get that.
That's rare.
You end the season at home. I know that people talk about the day after Thanksgiving, Missouri, whatever. I was like, but it's not like you're starting the season on the road and ending the season on the road. You get a home game at the end. So, you tell me, ask Sam Pittman if he's sitting there at 5-6 and in that last game against Missouri, needing that bowl victory or to get a game to get to a bowl game. Ask me if you'd rather do that one on the home or on the road.
I mean, honestly,
it's like it balances itself out. Let's see. Get some great chats in here too. I got Showtime Production saying, "Bad news, boys. Hogs and Notre Dame ain't getting game day. Bama and Georgia that week." Oh yeah, you ain't getting it.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't either. See, that's what I'm saying, dude. You look at the next week's like, all right, who's there? Yeah, Bama, Georgia. They probably already have announced it.
And this always happens because there have been worthy games for Fayetteville for College game day, but then it's always something crazy, like
stupid.
this.
Like I'll never forget a few examples of that. Arkansas, South Carolina in 2011. Arkansas was number 7. Carolina was number 9. Top 10 matchup in Fayetteville. Night game. Perfect on ESPN. Bama, Georgia, number 1, number 2 that game.
Yeah.
You had you had the game of what was it? I remember the game. They were coming to Arkansas, Alabama in 2012, but then Arkansas lost to Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah.
That happened. But Arkansas. Oh, here's another one. Arkansas and Bama in 2010. One of the greatest atmospheres of all time. Arkansas was number 10. They were number 1. What was the problem? Oh, because they had already gone to 2 straight SEC venues for the start of the season, and Boise State and Oregon were playing, which was worthy because that was the one when LeGarrette Blount knocked the guy out. Remember that?
Yeah, that's
right. It was worth game day being there just for that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm sure they had it scripted. So, but yeah, to your point, no, it's not happening. Jacoja says, "What would y'all do if we went 2-10?"
Well, I tell you this right now, business would be booming because there'd be a coaching surge.
Yes, nothing hits harder than a coaching surge when it comes to what we do as an organization.
Yeah,
not saying we root for it, but we know it's a guaranteed hit.
The top of my list, like my wants, is always going to be, hey, the team's just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just winning a bunch of games and it's exciting and they're in the conversations and people are pumped up, fired up, and we can be on here doing the Kool-Aid thing.
Yep.
That's always number 1 on my list for sure. Coaching searches are electric. We witnessed that with basketball. I would have much rather Eric Musselman's last team just been good. Like everybody thought they were after beating Purdue.
Would have been fun.
That would have been awesome, man. Another March Madness and everything like that. It sucked. It bottomed out, but man, the coaching, it's just, that stuff is crazy.
It's
and
insane.
At some point it'll happen for basketball again. At some point it'll happen for football again. And from like a content standpoint, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But what's tough, what wears on the fan base, and what's also tough for what we do is just when you're toiling in mediocrity.
Yeah.
And people just kind of get like,
There's nothing interesting about it. It's just kind of like, all right, there's this.
So my request is that they just ball out.
Yep.
Ball out this year.
And if you don't believe us, hey, the difference between what we did in our content and everything while we were in Omaha compared to what it was during the regular baseball season, it was like a whole nother world.
It was it's unreal.
Yeah, like, not to say that people weren't tuning in for baseball during the regular season, but it was just, holy crap. Everybody was hanging out. Everybody's tuning in. Same thing with basketball, which basketball was always hidden. But, man, once they made that Sweet 16, we were out there in San Francisco, we could have done a live stream of us just sitting here and punching each other in the face, and we would have had numbers out the wazoo.
It's basically what we would do. I mean, we would literally we would fly to some random city, and we would just get into an Airbnb and we just go live with no plan. And it would go crazy every single time. There's nothing really special about it, but it was awesome, man. It's more of that.
Yes,
more
please.
Sounds good.
We're here at Alumni Hall here in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue. Come hang out. Use that code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. Finch says, "Hey, John, do they still have some Hog swimming trunks in there or no? Are those cornhole boards or canvases back there behind you to your right?" To my right? There's so many things.
There's a lot of cornhole boards here. There's a lot of canvases, actually.
A lot of canvases, all on sale.
You can get you a Razorback clock.
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool. There's a Razorback fan cave sign up here. There's decorative pillows for your couch.
They got dog toys.
Yeah. They've got dog outfits. I might get Slim. I'm thinking about getting Slim a Razorback jersey. He's not a big clothes guy. Maybe I'll get him a little bandana thing.
Yeah.
And then
He's going to need to be at the big and tall section though for the tall side of things because he's got that tall bod,
that oblong, that crazy shape. You're not big and tall, but kind of
hopefully they have fat neck dogs because that's what my dog has is a fat neck.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have swimming trunks here? I'm sure Razorback swimming trunks. Yes. Okay. So there you go. There's your question. We had somebody ask if they had swimming trunks. I'm like, man, they got everything from here to Hanoi. So I'm sure they have swimming trunks at some point. So yes.
What kind of question is that, Finch, you weirdo?
Yeah, I'm about to say, come on now.
I'm just kidding. Finch has been giving me ever since I was like, man, he just, when I met him, that's just not what I expected. No, that's a good thing, man. I thought you were, because you troll a little bit. You give us the business or whatever, and you came in and I'm sure you are this, like if it's just, it's kind of in, you had the polo shirt on and, just very, just seemed like your everyday type of guy. So, businessman, but provider of the family. He's just a top-notch human. You know what, Finch? I see a lot of me when I look at you. Just can joke around, can be a little bit rough around the edges at times. But boy, you're just a stand-up guy, and everybody knows it.
That's right.
A compliment, man.
Yep. Yeah, just take the compliment and shut up. So how about that? Let's see. Jakota says, remember when our fan base literally made an SEC coach shut down his Twitter and complain about us? Has that happened? When did that happen? Am I missed? Maybe I just forgot about it.
Wasn't that Sam?
Did Sam shut down his Twitter? I mean, you're right. He did. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. Okay. It's the personal stuff.
Yeah. Which I get.
That was thrown at him. And then also the whole thing with, who was the Australian punter? What was his name?
Oh, dude. If you, Fletcher. Max Fletcher.
Yeah, Max Fletcher. That's right.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
What was the Max Fletcher thing? Sorry, I'm bringing up bad things. I honestly don't remember.
But I can't remember exactly what, but that there was something because he said like his punter had to come in the office and they had to have a conversation about.
That's right. Okay.
I don't remember why or what it was or whatever, but it was something there.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
He did shut her down for a while because that's when it's been screw it. It's been a big politics day here. That's when Jake Beckett was teeing off on everything that was going on with the like the softness of the program and all that. It's like, good grief, man.
I do remember a little bit too. And real quick, you know what? Here's the thing. If you guys care about it, I do not give a rip if a coach is on social media or not, or if they close it down or not. I don't care. I want to win. So if bringing up that stuff, because here's the deal. What if Sam Pittman was winning at a high level, then he shut down his Twitter? You brought back, that's a good idea, Sam.
He's locked in.
He's locked in and everything. So it's just a matter of perception and what the situation's in. So we'll have our best and worst of the week here in just a little bit as we're live from Alumni Hall here in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue. Let's see a few more chats here too. Hickory Hawk says the rules have never screwed Arkansas. Arkansas's response to the rules have always screwed Arkansas. The answer to who? Okay, I want to read that again. The rules have never screwed Arkansas. Arkansas's response to the rules have always screwed Arkansas.
Yeah.
Answer to who? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. I do agree with that.
That's a really good way to put it there. And that's kind of where I'm at with all this. Because I think, well, now that people understand that this is a little bit of a nothing burger here,
right.
Like the executive order, we'll see what comes of it. But initially, it kind of puts you in a weird spot if you're a Razorback fan. It was we talked about the opposite the other day. We're like, man, okay, so the collectives are going to be a thing. This is awesome for Arkansas basketball because now you don't have to worry about doing anything slick, right? You just got the collective. Ty's gonna be like, whatever. This is cool. But man, here comes that gap again for football. And then so let's say that some actual legislation came down where they're like, hey, you know what? Let us be very, very clear and not vague here. Collectives are going away. It's just no longer going to be a thing. You can't do it. It's done. Sorry about you. And then people are going to be in that dilemma of, do you really want to be the people that are like, hell yeah, yeah, let's go Arkansas. We're taking away everybody else's money. Yeah, our own athletes can't make money. You know what I mean? But at the same time, there's a party that's like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, the playing field is actually kind of level now. It's just a weird spot to be in, I think. You know?
And also, too, you don't want to be, as you said, that team that does that, because you've already kind of got that reputation right now.
That's exactly right.
Like, but after the lawsuit that was brought out, even as justified as it may have been, it's still the perception of it.
Yep.
But the last thing you also want to do is, because as we talked about, this thing is not going away. It's going to take a long time for it to settle in. And the last thing you want to do is just sit back and twiddle your thumbs until something final's done, because everyone else is going to be saying, well, whatever rules that we can operate in right now, we're going to do that. and then we can adjust later. You don't want to be like, well, we should just wait and see how it happens. We're going to do the bare minimum to get by. You don't want to do that. You want to be that team. But see, also John says, Curtis, do you think we are better or worse defensively, basketball question wise?
Defensively. I'm torn on this. I think there's a pathway. Here's what I'll say. I think Arkansas is going to be better but different defensively. And what I mean by that is the team was really, really good on that end of the floor last year. Their first shot defense was incredible, but they sucked on the glass, man. They gave up so many offensive rebounds. It doesn't matter how well you defend a shot if you give up another one and another one and another one. And that really hurt them. And we saw that in the NCAA tournament. They gave up 24 offensive rebounds to both St. John's and Texas Tech. It's arguably the reason why they lost, and got put out of the tournament. That's not going to be a problem this year. Nick Pringle, Malik Ewan, Trevin playing a bigger role. They're going to get defensive rebounds. I think that they have a chance to be a top 10 defensive rebound team in the country. So from that standpoint, I think overall, when you look at it at the end of the day, Arkansas is going to be a better team. There were so many games Arkansas played in where you looked at it and you're like, okay, Arkansas shot so much better from the field, but they lost this game. What happened? And it's like, oh, this team had 13 more shots. So it's because you were giving up a bunch of offensive boards. So that's a huge, huge part of it. I don't think Arkansas is going to be as good of a shot blocking team this year, but I think they're going to be more physical, and I think they're going to be a better rebounding team. I don't think that Arkansas has that Adu Thero type of guy that can just switch everything, guard everybody, and be super disruptive as an individual force. But I do think as a team that they have kind of a mixture of guys who are long and athletic and can force deflections and get more turnovers. So I think that they'll be a little bit better metrically speaking when it's all said and done. I just think it's going to look different than it did a year ago.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I agree with everything Curtis said because he knows a lot more about it than me or any of you. So just agree and say, yes, that is the case.
There we go.
Okay. Also, David wants to know, since we're here at Alumni Hall, says, John, how much for the golf bag back there? What are we, price checkers? Like, I don't know. Man. What's the golf bag?
Do we look like the...
How much? $320. The $320. And if you use Hogs by 20, you get 20% off of that.
I think it's sick, too.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool.
I mean, one of them's got front-facing hog on it.
Yeah, I mean...
But then it's got the standard logo on the pocket. And I can't see the other one. And the other one closer to the corner that's just very much Razorback red. I don't know about that one, but...
Did I ever tell you that I tried to buy Bobby Petrino's golf bag after he got fired at Arkansas?
No.
Yeah. He had his name on it. I couldn't afford it. It was going on. Somebody got a hold of it, was selling it on. It was a Razorback one, but it had his name on it. I'm like, yeah, he's not into himself. Like, who would have their name on something?
I did just want to bring this up real quick because I think there's some validity here. Finch says Billy was starting to lock down some folks late last season, so was Carter, but have to see how much they've grown as players. Yes, the thing about Thero is he could guard 1 through 5, literally everybody, and Billy can guard 1 through 3, and Carter can guard 2 through 4,
especially that one. Because he's going to be a point guard.
Exactly. Yeah, your point guard, Billy Richmond. But yeah, just those guys are good defenders, impactful defenders for sure. Thero's just different, man, because he's 6'8" and 0% body fat at 225 or whatever, and he's defending centers and switching on to point guards. And there's just not. It's not a knock on anybody on Arkansas's team, man. There's just not that many folks out there who can do that. He was super, super impactful there.
Yeah. And I think that I know you talked about it, but I know we even talked about it. It's like, you can't really put a price on how impactful that is, having a player that can do that. Like,
it's crazy.
Like, it's like, oh, well, he didn't, hit a bunch of threes and didn't have a jump. But dude, he's like, he could guard anybody. Like, you have to just be born a certain genetic form to be able to pull that off,
Right.
Like, and I'm not comparing him to LeBron James, but I'm saying like LeBron was one of those guys that just, a physical specimen, doesn't matter who he goes up against, he can guard if he has to. And you just can't put a price on that. Heartbroken Hog just says, how will Ellis react for the first time he has to deal with a baseball coaching search? Well, I'm telling you right now, if there is one thing that probably will not happen, there will not be a coaching search for Razorback baseball. It's going to be one of those things where Dave retires the next day, or even maybe 5 seconds afterwards, we know who the coach is. It's not going to be we got to figure out who we're going to hire here. It's going to be a smooth transition.
Yeah,
I would say
100%.
No.
That will be that's an ideal quote unquote coaching search for a program, but not for us.
No,
because there's not going to be anything. No plane trackers for that one.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, so we'll get to more of your chats again. We're live here at Alumni Hall in Fayetteville, but we got to do, of course, our best and worst of the week, and it is presented by our friends over at Looper Auction and realty, because we know, folks, that you're trying to sell your home and you may want to try to do it the traditional way. Well, that's going to take you months, maybe even years to try to sell it. But at Looper Auction and Realty, they offer a faster and smarter option. You can sell your home at auction. No repairs, no contingencies, no drawn-out negotiations. You set the terms, buyers compete, and you walk away with a firm closing date. So whether it's your home, an estate, or investment property, the auction method puts you in control and gets it sold fast. So call Looper Auction and Realty at 479-996-4848. That's 479-996-4848. Or you can visit looperauction.com. It's Looper Auction and Realty, sold in 30, closed in 30. Okay, so for our best and worst of the week, there was a few of them. Anyway, I'm going to use it as a week, but some of them happened like today, before. So It's going to be not exactly a new stuff here. But for the best of the week for me has been the stuff that's come out from other conference media days and the pod shots been taken. I just want to give shout out to Commissioner Greg Sankey. I had a chance to sit down with Greg, and I call him Greg because, real quick, Bob Holt's story. You remember the movie Animal House? Remember when he's giving the speech and he says, "I put it to you, Greg." Bob always would say that to Greg Sankey, so that's all I've always think about. Anyways, he's kind of a dry dude, just to be honest. He's very dry, very, very, smart, very smart person, smarter than me. But it was one of those things to where I thought, okay, so is he going to have a response to all these pod shots getting taken? Like, how are they going to feel about it? Well, he really just nailed it. I mean, he came out and he nailed it where he put out a logo. I thought I had it, but either way, it's the SEC logo. But instead of the SEC in it, it says TOC.
Yeah.
And it's like, what in the world? And he says, greetings from that other conference, because James Franklin and others called it that other conference, which in reference to SEC, because they were really ripping the SEC in a lot of ways. But I appreciate him, as dry and as boring and as a nerd of like internet stuff that he may be. That dude, he's got some wittiness to him. So I wanted to give him a shout. I said that was the best because, again, you could not said anything and been fine, but he's like, I'm going to have some fun with this.
I like that a lot. I'm glad that he did it. It's been, I like the banter. I really do. But with all of this that's gone down, whether it's, ACC or Big Ten media days here with some of the chirping, I have kind of been like, all right, we might need to just a little bro these dudes here real quick. Like, don't forget your space here. Don't, stay in your lane, know where you're at on the totem pole. I'm glad that Greg Sankey did that. And honestly, I don't agree with everything Greg Sankey does.
Sure.
What I do like about him is how open he is. And I think he's walking around Media Row there at SC Media. He's going on everybody's show and he answers questions and he goes up there and he takes, press conferences and everything else. And meanwhile, you've got, and I can't remember if it was McMurray. No, who is it? Which writer is it that was calling the Big Ten guy Puxatoni Petiti? Because he only comes out of his hole once a year. And gets up there at media day. So it's like, but that dude's always hiding, man. And that's why, he wants to be a voice in this space or whatever. And you feel like he's on equal ground or have that type of leverage that Greg Sankey does, but he just hides in his hole all year. And he just comes out. Do I see my shadow? Do I not? And he goes back in. Sankey's out there, man. You don't have to agree with him, but he's open. He's vocal. He'll say it with his chest, and he'll defend it. So I will definitely give him credit for that, and I'm glad he threw a little bit of shade right back out there.
That's good. And also too, just to know, like the different approaches that people could have, and just to do it on social media in that way. I doubt he was the one that went into Canva and created the logo. I'm sure somebody helped him out with that. But no, it was still cool. And fun fact, and it's smart by him. Every radio show he goes on at Radio Row, he has his own headset. He brings his own headset.
Really?
Yep. Because which I get. I'm like, dude, the amount of headsets and seeing some of the people there at SEC Media Days, like me, they're probably like, these gross people. Like, I don't know where this has been. He knows what he's doing. He's like, all right, 10 minutes, ask me whatever you want, I'm out of here. So yeah, cool. I like Greg Sankey, man, and a good troll tweet from him. So that's my best.
I like that. Mine is, I've got two, and one quick. It's a best of the week. I guess a good outcome from a bad situation. I'm glad Bill Self is all right.
Yeah, dude, that was scary.
That's scary. He was feeling some symptoms, they said, and they took him to the hospital. He wound up having to get a couple stents put in yesterday. And so he's good, expected to make a full recovery and everything like that, which is awesome. But man, I just remember it was only a couple years ago now that we were in Des Moines for the NCAA tournament, and Bill Self did not coach that game against Arkansas or the game before that, or maybe the Big 12 tournament either. But because he had whatever was going on, that cardiac type stuff. And you thought he was on the other side of it, and you never really are. And so that's scary. Could have been a lot worse. So I'm thankful that he's okay, but it does make you wonder. There's been a lot of conversations about how much longer is Bill Self going to do this. He's not that old of a guy, but that's scary, man. And so take care of yourself out there, and hope that he's hanging in there and doing well. These guys are just always kind of larger than life type of figures, and they're just always in the public eye and everything, and you kind of forget about that human element. Like sometimes people get sick, and you have stuff going on. So I was happy to hear that he's okay. I thought that was scary. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, best of the week, and I realized that this is not necessarily it wasn't brand new news, but I guess it got brought up again, resurfaced again, and it's probably multiple years away from really being a thing, but I just love the idea of North Carolina in the SEC.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna bring that up.
I love it, man. And who was it? Was it Clemson? Was that the other one?
Yes.
Bring it on.
Bring
man.
Bill Belichick to SEC Media Days.
Please do. I would love that. I think it would be cool. Like, you've already got South Carolina represented, and so add another team out there. I love the idea of North Carolina. Of course I do, because I'm a basketball guy. Leave Duke. Leave Duke in the ACC. I don't care about them. North Carolina, Chapel Hill, it's a really, really cool city. I would be all for that.
Yes.
And I think it would be cool. I think there's actually some fit that makes sense there with the SEC. I'd be all for it, and I hope that it does become a thing.
No, me too. I thought I was going to bring that up as well. Like Chapel Hill, the time I went for baseball, awesome campus, beautiful campus. And to be able to, have reasons to travel out there, but also North Carolina, you talk about adding it's another state for one. But Charlotte's a huge market. Like, it's a very large market out there in Carolina. And you have so many campuses, which I know these wouldn't be added into the SEC, but I'm like, you got Duke out there. You have UNC or North Carolina State out there, like 9 miles apart, all of them. They're very close.
Wake Forest, not that far.
Yeah. And it would just be a really cool element to it. And so, yeah, I'd be all for it. If you want to bring them and Clemson in, I felt like you should have. I wanted that before Missouri and A&M came in. I was like, give me Florida State and Clemson, or North Carolina and Duke, or something like that. But it's just so funny because everyone's like, all right, everybody, we've settled down. Nobody wants to join the SEC anymore. And North Carolina's like, well, actually, we still want to.
Yeah.
ACC's like, are you kidding me? Like, I thought we were good. We want money. And they have more. So, yeah, we're fine with it. Meanwhile, Memphis is out here trying to offer $200 million to join the ACC now. Maybe if North Carolina left, you could go and join them for $200 million. Yeah. So, but also another best. This is non-sports related, but it just makes me laugh so hard and dealing with this, because let's be honest, there's always something funny in the sports world that we can and I'll have a good laugh at, and that's great and all. As I stall here to find the picture, why did I not find this? I thought I had it saved and everything. Did you see Chuck E. Cheese get arrested?
Yeah, I did see Chuck E. Cheese get arrested.
Man, yeah, that was a tough image to really put together into my mind, because I'm going to find this picture and get it in a second, folks. But basically, there was a situation where the cops had to bust into a Chuck E. Cheese, which I don't even know if I know that Chuck E. Cheeses are around and it's fine, but it was of course, it had to be in Florida. Let's be honest about that. Like, it had to be Florida. But either way, it's just an absurd thing when you see a mouse, a mascot, getting put into cuffs by a police officer and escorted out. Like, he didn't even take off his hat or take off his mascot head, which I don't know what the protocol is. I don't know what to do there. But still, this right here, like, that's just cracks me up, man. Yeah, like he's got Chuck E. Cheese, who has brought so much joy to children for generations. He's got him in handcuffs, man, and it's a scary, scary thing.
Yeah,
I mean, hopefully not many kids saw it, but it was for credit card fraud,
which is
oh, dude, he just like, I mean, as a cop, don't you take off the head? Like, how'd you know it was him?
Yeah,
don't you take off the head? Okay, yeah, this is the guy. I don't know.
I know somebody that it's kind of a mix between Chuck E. Cheese and Mayor McCheese that has some credit card fraud issues. But
Mayor McCheese.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Chuck E. Cheese ain't what it used to be.
No, dude.
You
get lost in that ball pit and the slides and everything.
You can, yeah. And there's some sketchy characters out there. And this is I'm not going to really get into the details, but this is an actual story. But wasn't my youth pastor growing up, but was like the actual pastor of the church that I went to.
Mm-hmm.
Was lurking around Chuck E.
Oh,
Cheese's,
gosh.
and he was like a big fan of the salad bar or something. Like it was just
Yeah, I
like
don't
this
buy
weird
that.
deal anyway. But he got arrested for being into the type of people that go to Chuck E. Cheese. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a bad deal. It wasn't while he was at our town. It was like after we had graduated high school and moved on and everything. But it was like a big story down in Texas, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, man, it's crazy!" So, man, it's Chuck E. Cheese. You got to be careful out there.
Listen, in Fayetteville, growing up here, that was the only, that and Blockbuster. Show you how old I am. Those were the two things. It might as well have been Disney World to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like going to Blockbuster or Chuck E. Cheese here in Fayetteville, and I remember going in there, and they had the autumn animatronics or whatever they were singing. One of them, I remember it was when I was older, but it was from my buddy's younger sister's birthday party that was out there, and they started like breaking down, and smoke came out of it, and the kids were crying. And I remember laughing so hard because I'm like, "This is absurd! Like, what is happening?" But yeah,
their pizza is good. Like their pizza is actually.
You
good.
and Ellis were both saying this, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I just haven't had it in so long. I wouldn't even remember if it is or not.
If you appreciate like a Little Caesars or a Eureka pizza or whatever, I think it's that type of pizza, but a notch above.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, so and I remember my friend started crying because when beer's bad when you're a kid. You don't drink it. And when he found out that they had beer at Chuck E. Cheese, it just devastated him. He was so sad. Because he's like, I thought this was a place of purity and just fun, and now they have beer.
They have beer there?
Yeah, they have beer.
You know they sell beer at Cracker Barrel now?
I didn't.
You can get drinks at Cracker Barrel?
I didn't. No. Well, let's be honest. Like with Cracker Barrel, Chuck E. Cheese, some of these dads are probably, man, I need a few beers.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm having to deal with these running around and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, I may need to, pound a few.
Take the edge off.
Yeah. I can't deal with this, man. So, oh man. Okay. So yeah, enough of a worst or best of the week.
Yeah.
Now this is going to be a little bit of a worst, but it's a funny worst. Just because I sent this to you, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this is the case. But apparently, Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson are golfing today, or was this yesterday? Anyway, yesterday today in Northwest Arkansas. They're here. And shout out to Sierra Clark, who put out the tweet. And I guess they're together. She says her boyfriend, Klay Thompson. Sure. Okay. But one, why are they here and golfing? And two, nothing against the fine golf courses of the Lindsay Apartments. Nothing against them, because I've played at them many times. It's just not really a place I would assume big-time, multi-millionaire celebrities would go and play golf in the Northwest Arkansas area. There's a lot of great golf courses. Lindsay's got some good ones, but I just laugh because I'm like, why there? Why there? And I guess they're in Rogers, according to reports. Anyways, I just have a lot of questions as to why Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion are here in Northwest Arkansas playing golf at a Lindsay apartment complex.
You said they're in Rogers, according to reports.
Doing
what? We don't. Or they were just seen out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Know, okay, so we don't know why they're actually here.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. I don't know why.
So,
I assume Walmart, because that's my ultimate assumption. Anytime some celebrities here in Northwest Arkansas, Walmart. But I don't know. I have no clue. So
yeah, that's kind of crazy. I didn't know that they were a thing.
I didn't either.
I didn't know Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion were an item.
No, but also I haven't kept up to date on my People magazines. If those are even things.
Andrew would definitely know more about that, I think, than we would about that couple situation there. But I don't know. Hope they have enjoyed their time here. A lot of interesting golfing scenarios. I meant to pull. Did you see John Fanta?
No, I didn't see that.
Man, I should have pulled it up. I might try to get it before the end of the show here, but just made kind of a ridiculously long putt, and somebody got it on video, and his celebration, his golf outfit, it just makes you smile.
I mean, is it on brand for Fanta?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all I was saying. By the way, our guy Logan in the chat real quick, he says, yeah, she said in the video that she was here for a Walmart deal.
Okay,
so,
all right, gotcha. There we
go. Yeah, Walmart. It would have been cool if Clay's here for Cal. Maybe Cal, one, is probably going to talk with him if Cal's in the time. But two, if Musk was here, that dude would be out there scouting wherever golf courses to be like just getting a picture with him.
Yeah.
So
he 1000% would. I already kind of talked about one of my worst of the weekends, and we were getting into just the outcry. Matter of fact, but I missed a part of it. Okay, so I've got two. One, real quick. We don't even have to talk about it that much, but the kid who was it Memphis, left Memphis, shared the
Yes.
scouting or like the playbook with the UTEP guy. And
That's listen.
have you heard from your man Barry Odom today?
No, I've almost thought about reaching
Okay.
out, but then again, I
Here's-
didn't want to.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he's getting a lot of people reaching out. Here's to that's because to clarify, the story is
Yes.
that there is a kid that was at Memphis,
Uh-huh.
played football,
Yep.
transferred out,
Mhm.
and UTEP, right, was playing Memphis.
Yeah.
And as he was was he still on the team? I guess I should just pull up the story, but he shared the game plan and all that stuff with the enemy, with UTEP.
Like, here's screenshots of the playbook.
Yes.
And explaining it like, hey, at the top left-hand corner, those are coverages, and this is what this means.
Like, that is the worst type of thing where you should never be allowed to play sports again. Like, I don't care what that team did. Like, there's players on that didn't deserve that. Like, that's just the lowest of low. But my question is, Curtis, does the school that received said game plan, do they have any sort of onus in this?
No.
I agree.
I don't think so.
I agree.
Yeah.
If somebody came to me and was like, hey, here's a game plan, thanks.
Mhm.
Like, it's not illegal now it may be illegal for you to go and search for, but hey, if someone comes to you and says, here you go. Yeah,
right.
All right. Thank you so much.
Was it Kentucky? Was it KSR? They got their hands on one of Eric Musselman's scouting reports a couple years ago.
Yep. Because was that the one that got like left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody left it. And man, I knew who did it. Now I can't remember because I asked like everyone on the staff, and finally one person told me, but now I don't remember who it was. Oh well. But yeah, it's a big no-no, man.
You can't do that.
It's that's one thing. Just like leaving it at the team hotel or leaving it in the locker room or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Literally giving it to an opponent.
Yeah,
that's nasty work, man. That's absolutely crazy.
So you said you had another one. Sorry, I kind of took it, but you had another bet or worst of the week.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm only going to give half of it because we've done too much politics today. But John Calipari's mentions it just. The outrage from BBN, I think, is where I'm going to go with this because the U of A put out the graphic that pertains to Coach Cal. Like The Athletic did this big story, and it's like, here are the best 25 teams since the year 2000 or whatever it was. 3 of them were put together and coached by John Calipari.
Yep.
It's a big deal. It matters. And so they put out the graphic like, hey, these were the 3 teams from the Athletic, and Cal coached them all. Here they were. And BBN loves to do this thing where it's like, oh, well, Arkansas they're just taking credit for Kentucky's success. Oh, wow. Like, you want to be us, whatever. Insecure much?
Dude, it's crazy.
It's unbelievable to me because at the end of the day, Arkansas has hired a Hall of Fame head coach.
Yep.
The reason why he's making as much money as he is here, well, it's because of his buddy. But the reason why it was such a big deal is because of the things that he has accomplished throughout the course of his career.
Yep.
The reason John Pelfrey wasn't celebrated that way here is because he hadn't done anything. The reason why Kentucky's not doing this for Mark Pope right now is because he didn't have any previous accomplishments over there. And so just the outrage and the pearl clutching and Matt Jones doing his thing about it. No, you guys are the jealous ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
Like, it's the weirdest thing to me. And at the end of the day, he's been here for 1 year. He took Arkansas to Sweet 16, and guess what? They've celebrated that. We've celebrated that. But he is a legendary head coach, more accomplished than just about anyone who's doing it in the game right now.
Yep.
And he should be able to be celebrated for that.
Yes.
By the fan base, by the place that employs him, by himself. I just don't see an issue with that. And, like, you see all the BBN and the Kentucky folks freaking out over it, so upset over it. Kentucky made him, all this and that. 2 of those teams mentioned were Kentucky. One of them was Memphis. Do you know how many Memphis fans I have seen take exception to that graphic?
I'm going to guess 0.
0.
Yeah.
None. Not at all.
I laugh at it because it would be one thing if Arkansas was just like, oh, this is the successes of Arkansas, and they blurred out the Kentucky word and was like, over here, and try to make it look like it was them. They didn't. They very much so said Kentucky.
Yeah.
Now that graphic may have been in red, but it said Kentucky. So I don't understand why you would be upset by that, or why you would feel a certain way. It's just, what do you want? Like, nobody's saying anything. It's like, don't think that when Bobby Petrino got the head coach at Arkansas that things weren't being brought up of, at Louisville, this is what he did. At Louisville, this is what he did. Of course, because that's what you have to go off of. But yeah, it's just weird, man. And then I love when Kentucky fans are like, "Oh, y'all can't stop talking about us." I beg your pardon. Like, you're the one that's over here talking about graphics that don't matter and making it as if some sort of slight against you. It's like, what are you talking about? So, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. So, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that was going to be one of my worst of the weeks as well. So, reminder, folks, we're here at Alumni Hall in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue. You can shop online at insidearkansas.com/alumni hall, or you can just come here in store and hang out Hogs by 20 for 20% off your purchase. Got these awesome Darren McFadden and Felix Jones jerseys right here, Nike team wear. They got golf bags, as people were asking about. They got swim trunks, as we found out. Somebody was asking about that. What was someone else? The cornhole?
Cornhole, yeah.
I feel like there was something that somebody else asked about that was just like, hey, do they have this? Yes, just assume they do because they got it all. If you have
to ask, they have it.
Yeah, they got it all going on. So, but yeah, we appreciate the.
Please don't test that statement in the chat.
No, we're not price checkers. All right. These people over here are working hard. We don't need to bother them anymore. Be like, hey, how much is this? It's like, just look at the price tag and then you can find out for yourself. But we'll get into some of our summer topics here presented by our friends, of course, at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. We know that it is hot outside and you want to spend time on the water when it comes to the lake, especially with some of the Great Lakes here in Arkansas. But maybe you don't have a boat. Well, don't worry about it because the Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas is going to have you covered, where they give you access to the boat without the commitment, without the maintenance that you're going to have to do on it, without the slip, without anything. You just get to enjoy all the positive benefits of owning a boat, and they're going to take care of it. They have 3 locations in Arkansas, whether it's Greersbury Lake, Lake Hamilton, or even a day on the Arkansas River down there in Little Rock. They're going to make it to where your summertime here in the state of Arkansas is the best one yet. So you can check out their website at freedomboatclubar.com. That's freedomboatclubar.com to learn more about the benefits of joining the club with Freedom Boat Club. Before we get some other topics stuff, shout out to guy Timothy Long. How about
this?
There
he is. Yeah,
appreciate it, Timothy. We always get to hear from you every so often. But for those of you who are probably like wondering, he's like, what's Timothy? Timothy was like the OG, one of the OGs we've had here for our live streams, and always coming on the chat. But appreciate the super chat. And he just says, hey guys, so if we falter this year in football, is it all going to go to management of athletics and not just staff of the coaches?
Hard to say.
I mean,
it's hard to say. And I guess it depends on what falter would mean, you know?
Yeah. Everyone's got their own definition apparently of what's faltering.
Yeah. It's hard to say because then I think it's a fair question to, if they struggle this year or whatever, to look at it and say, well, does the stuff rolls downhill, right? And, it starts at the top, and is the top the coaching staff, or is the top the people above them who might not be putting them in the best position to succeed? Yeah, I think it's a fair question to ask.
Yeah, and I'm feeling like it's at the end of the day, the ultimate decision is going to be, those who are in charge. But are those in charge going to be in charge anymore? Like there's just so many elements that could come from it. But yeah, it's good to hear from you, Timothy. Man, we appreciate you tuning in here. Let's see a few chats before we get back to our summer topic questions. And let's see. Finch is over here saying maybe they wanted a low-key date, John. Man, dude is judging so hard. What was this about?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I think he's talking about with Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, no, that's fine. It's just
okay.
Forgive me for thinking it's weird that Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion are hanging out in Northwest Arkansas in the middle of July playing golf on a Lindsay golf course. Well, sorry if I find that just a little bit odd and everything.
I feel like
Hey, sorry, real quick. Can you tell that's my nephew?
Actually, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my nephew Miller. But anyways, he just he's in here shopping at Alumni Hall. But anyways, sorry to cut you off. But I'm like, everybody says that we have a lot of similarities. So.
I mean, seriously,
he's not mine. He's not mine.
What I'll say to that is, I just think anywhere that those two particular people would be playing, it's going to be kind of low key.
Yeah.
It's Northwest Arkansas. Like for them, it's I don't know. It doesn't get much more low key than that, unless you pick that particular place.
So it might as well be Egypt to them, like as far as random.
And who knows? I mean, they might have just got here and like, oh, we want to play some golf, and they Googled it or something, and it just appeared, or they asked one random guy wherever they were, and it's like, oh, you got to go to the links.
Yeah. Well, I like this also from Finch. He said, "Best of the week every day at 6 a.m. and noon."
I like that.
Which we do like it. Also, Michelle just says that, as in like she agrees. Is it really your best? Is it really your best, Michelle? I feel like there may be some 6 a.m.s and noons that. Maybe it's not your best.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, just as the kids say, are you capping or whatever? I don't know. But anyways, I just thought that was funny.
It's like, definitely not. It's definitely not 6 a.m. for her because she usually listens at 9 o'clock at night or whenever I record.
Right. Yeah.
She's ahead of the game.
Also, please, and if you're telling me this, you're lying. There is not one person on this planet where they feel like the best of their day happens at 6 a.m. There's just nobody.
No.
And I know, like, hey, Pot at the Palace for sure, but you're all not listening right at 6 a.m. Now you're waiting until 7 a.m., 8 a.m. to listen to it and to watch it. But this idea of just like, oh yeah, 6 a.m. on the dot. Come on, not all of you are that way.
I watched the numbers.
Yeah. Is it pretty strong right at 6 a.m.?
I mean, there's a decent amount, but like it's if we did like the if you look at a restaurant, look it up and it's like, oh, they're typical busy for this type of hour or whatever. The bar is lower at 6 a.m. than it is any other time. Okay, so
so saying like, oh, the best time of my day is at 6 a.m. Said no one ever. No one wants
I do have a good handful. Here's what I will say. On the handful of occasions where I like if I don't do an episode on a particular day, or like there's been one time where if I record after midnight and I schedule it, I always forget, like it's automatically scheduled you for the next day. So I'll wake up and it'll be like 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and I'll have DMs and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, it's 8 o'clock. Like where is it? What's going on here? Like I listen to this going to work. What are you doing? I'm like, my bad.
It's the greatest compliment you can ever receive is people getting mad that you're it's not on schedule. It's you don't have them in their routine. So
well, I will tell you. Well, yeah, no, I'll go ahead and tell you. I guess it was like last week sometime, and for the podcast version, like I had title, description, and everything, but I uploaded the previous day's podcast again to that one. Like I just had it there,
buddy.
I did that, and somebody had DM'd me about it right away, but it was caught in the like if it's not a follower, like you have to go in there and accept it or whatever. And it was like 48 hours later where I saw a couple people were like, hey, I was like, oh, my bad. And so I was like, yeah, it's,
dude,
production. Sorry. I went there and fixed it.
As somebody who's been uploading podcasts since 2017, if the amount of times that's happened to me, or if I've uploaded one and they're like, hey, it cut off in the middle of it. I'm like, why? They're like, well, I don't know, I just did. It's like, okay, what do you do? Re-upload it. It's, but yes, it's a great compliment. So yeah, listen, we are all busy guys. But if any of our stuff is not there as it's supposed to be, please let us know. Like, just send out a DM. You don't have to be a jerk about it, but just let us know, because sometimes things slip through the cracks when it comes to those deals. But we appreciate it. Let's see. Also, Angel just says, he's talking about my hair again. He says, when John wears the headset, his hair is in a battle. What is it about my hair? I don't know what has happened over the past couple of days. Yes, I said it again. I need a haircut. I know. And my stylist, as I've learned it, she's on vacation. I'm getting it done next week. Leave me alone on my hair, all right? It's just craziness.
Let John Solanist enjoy vacation. And just let John let his hair be free.
Yeah, let me have as I'm holding on to it for dear life as long as I can. Okay, and just let me have my.
It doesn't strike me as unruly right now. It just really doesn't. Maybe it's. I know you were doing the hat thing for a while.
Yes, because I was just getting lazy. But yes,
okay.
But then I got my my special product in. I get to have it and. I'm digging myself a hole, because if people saw the amount of different things and bottles of stuff in my bathroom for my hair, it's not that many, but I think it's everybody like, oh, you don't do the 2-in-1 stuff like I do. Just put it on. No, I don't like my peanut butter and jelly in the same jar. That's for goobers. Get it? Hopefully people understood that joke and that reference.
That's pretty good.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I got it from Jim.
I also feel seen, because I was in Walgreens the other day and I was looking around and I was like, Nope. Oh, $2.98 shampoo can be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
when you don't have hair, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's fine. To each their own. Shout out to also Timothy, another super chat. We appreciate it, Timothy.
Yes.
He said, watch the Locked On SEC joint thing, and you cracked me up, John. Locked On 14th picked in the SEC. Curtis is awesome as well. I'll be coming back soon and more often. Love y'all. Well, thanks, Timothy. We appreciate it, man.
No, we appreciate that. Timothy, the real ones know. Mm-hmm. But man, during football season last year, he was on it. When we'd be out at the Roy Lounge, like we do our live shows out there, or the football simulations, the game simulations we would do.
Which we're bringing back, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to be doing that here soon. But also for those reference, I did the Locked On SEC roundtable. It's chaotic in there, but just for my name on it, I just said Locked On, because I like to do fun stuff with the title bar, and I just said Locked On 14th and picked in the SEC. That way people really know who I am and can make the connections there. Okay, we'll have more of your chats. Again, we're live at Alumni Hall, 3417 North College Avenue here in Fayetteville. Wanted to bring this one up, though, for our summer topic questions, because we do sports, we do food, we do entertainment, and sometimes people are going to get mad at one or the other or get into heated debates. In fact, sometimes, I don't know how I feel about this, but sometimes people get more fired up about these topics, which are just supposed to be fun. They'll be like getting very personal on it. And I'm not really sure why. But we'll start with the sports ones, Razorback related, and also a little basketball talk. How about this? If you could reverse one single play in Razorback basketball history, what would it be? Now, the reason I'm asking this question is because baseball is way too obvious. We all know which one everyone would pick.
Yeah.
Football, I feel like it's like one of 2 or 3 that would get picked. But basketball, I feel like there's not a whole lot of just those one single, hopefully, knock on wood, never happens. But there's just not a whole lot of just like a one single play that changes the entire complexity of everything. So what would be one play that you could that you would want to reverse if you could?
I have a few. The first one that jumped out to me right away was the block charge against North Carolina in the tournament. Had that have gone the other way, Mike Anderson might still be coaching the Razorbacks.
Very true.
Eric Musselman may have never been here.
Yep.
You never know.
Because they ended up winning the title that year, North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
You could have won the title, Curse. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Well, at least they would have got over that crazy Sweet 16 hurdle there. And who knows what would have happened after that. I don't even remember who they would have played had they won that game, but
didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Yeah, the second weekend, it would have been crazy. It would have been nuts. That one was crazy and egregious. More recently, and you bring up this a lot, against Baylor in the Elite Eight, the Desi Sills shot. Could have hit anything, but you could have just made it. Because it just felt like that was, for whatever reason, the momentum kind of reshifted after that one. And I still don't know if Arkansas would have won that game or not, but it's looking like they had a chance to get it done there. Or maybe any of J.D. Notae's fouls, and he could have played a little bit longer. I don't know.
Getting fouled out with 13 minutes to go.
For me, I think you could pick, like 5 different things from that game against Texas Tech.
That's what immediately where my mind went to. Give me that jump ball back.
That's the one that I'm on.
My buddy Devin retweeted the video the other day. I don't know why, but I retweeted it. And it's still the egregious thing, which Arkansas should not have blown a lead. Like we all know that. But if that does not happen, because it was such an awful jump ball call, if that doesn't happen, Arkansas wins. I truly believe that. If they just let them have possession or called a foul or anything else, Arkansas wins that game. But, it is what it is. And who knows, not saying they would have beaten Florida, but, man, I would have liked to have seen them try. Would have liked to have seen them go to the Elite Eight. We could have stayed in San Fran a couple more days. Would have been nice. But, we could have had some more Waymos instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead, But, though, that to last year's, and isn't that crazy? And I know it sucks. But, I feel like that's such a – I'm trying to make sure I word this right. That is such a good thing that of all the history of Razorback basketball, we're talking about that. As in, not a – to the way of with Auburn, shout out Quinn, but Auburn in that foul call against Virginia in the Final Four, there's, or a buzzer beater, you get beat, half court shot, whatever. It's if that's the one play that you look at, be like, man, that would have changed everything. You're pretty lucky. Because I feel like there's a lot of other basketball programs that probably could make a whole list of single plays that if they reverse, it means all the difference in the world. You don't think John Calipari and all of them would have a thing about the end of the Memphis game against Kansas? I don't think that there's a reversal in there. Yeah. So just saying, could be a lot worse. But
no doubt about it. Gosh, man, that Texas Tech game, the jump ball, it was just so quick. That one was crazy to me. And then what happened immediately after that, I think about Cal was talking on, maybe that was on Rothstein's podcast where he was talking about it, but said at the end of the year, Jonas Adu came into his office and apologized to him for missing that free throw.
Yeah.
That would have made it 2, you know what I mean? And it's like the stuff there at the end wouldn't have even mattered. You could say, DJ pitching it back to Nelly, on that final play in overtime. Just so many different things that you could have gone to there.
I refuse to watch any of the highlights of the game, so maybe you can help me. What did they? Because they hit a 3 to send it to overtime, right? Was it at the buzzer, or was there time for another play?
Arkansas had opportunities both at the end of regulation and overtime.
I didn't know. I couldn't remember if it was they hit it and there was a second left on the clock or anything like that. So, sorry to bring up bad things, but
maybe he could have called a timeout, Cal. There, you know what I mean?
There's a lot in basketball, dude. There's so many different things that could have ended up happening. It could have been a difference maker. So well, golly, sucks. Yeah, sorry. It's a bad one. But on a lighter note, how about we do this with the entertainment side?
Yes.
Because we saw as Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson in Arkansas kind of inspired this one. But who's the greatest celebrity that you've ever seen at a Razorback game or a Razorback event in general? Just the one that comes to your mind. To me, like Jessica Alba, I know she's not like an A star, but that was pretty cool.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Actually, yeah. And I didn't see her.
Yeah, that's right. Because wasn't it a random game too? Like it wasn't even like a big game.
Yeah, and apparently it's just like something she does or whatever.
Just goes to games.
But I do just remember, like right after the game when it was, she's like, "Oh, I'm here" or whatever, and it was on socials and everything, and just how mad Muss was.
Oh man,
because he gets a photo with everybody who comes in there. I do remember walking out of the media room, the hospitality room, and going down the tunnel to go up to our seats and walking around the corner, and there was Fetty Wap.
Yes, Fetty Wap.
Day, and I was like, okay, there he
Remember
is.
That?
That's interesting.
Yep, that's Fetty Wap. What's funny is I've seen people like Hulk Hogan. So shout out to him. What was it? 2 years ago, football. I know they put out that video of him, but he was there at a Razorback football game. Rest in peace, Hulkster. But it's hard to beat that. I mean, he's about as iconic and legendary as possible. Do you remember the game where Randy Jackson came out at halftime?
Oh,
he came out because it was during the 2012 season. Everyone was awful and it was mad. It was raining. He rode in on a golf cart because some girl got on American Idol, and he was like, "I was like, all right, there's Randy Jackson there." But obviously someone from like John Daly, the Bill Clinton, like those. But I'm talking about like outside of that. Al, I think is his name, from Home Improvement. Al Borland.
Oh yeah,
he came to a game one time, like when I was a kid, and I didn't know why, but that was a big deal. So, anyways, just a few nameless ones there. I'm sure some people are in the chat saying
some people said the Red Panda. I mean, listen, that's a bunch of folks we're talking about Brock Lesnar, who we saw him at Tin Roof.
Yeah, man,
as
that's
opposed
still
to a
scared.
game.
That scared the crap out of me.
At least when you're at a game like that, you're not as taken aback if you see someone, a celebrity or someone important or whatever. But you don't expect to walk into, no disrespect, Tin Roof and see a guy like Brock Lesnar. I was like, what?
Well, especially it was in the middle of the summer or getting, I think was it in May? It was like warm outside, kind of random.
Yeah, it was like the end of the school year because they were doing the track thing out there. But
you just saw him, and then I got scared because I remember we mentioned him, and then I was like, what if he hurt us? And he's like going to get mad. No, he didn't do any of those things, but it was pretty cool it's cool to see him out there too. But I feel like I'm sure there's some that we're missing from this particular question, because not to say Arkansas has, it means a lot more if Arkansas has a celebrity at a game because it happens so little of when it takes place. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not going to read that. Actually, no, I'm going to read it. Wayne just says, hear me out. John and Andrew at the Texas A&M series this year, bomb, buddy. If that was the biggest and greatest celebrity sighting you ever had at a Razorback event, you need to go to more Razorback events. But we appreciate it. We appreciate it either way. And finally, kind of the food, which I know it's not just food, it's drink and everything, but there's an inspiration for this. What energy drink have you spent the most money on in your life?
It's not
what you just
had.
I
drank today. Yeah, so we pulled up and I was thirsty and I needed some energy, and right next door is the Whole Foods. It's like, all right, well, I'll go over here and get something. And they don't have the gas station energy drinks, So I got like what is it, Riot?
Riot Energy. I mean, it looks like it would be a banger of an energy drink. Wasn't it?
2 out of 10. It's Red Bull Zero Sugar for me.
Yeah.
That's the staple. I used to be a huge, especially when I was working at the college and we would do like 6 a.m. practices or 2-a-days when I was doing athletic training or whatever. We would just go out to Sam's Club and get the cases of Monsters.
Oh my gosh, man.
And would just dominate those things. But the Red Bull is definitely the answer.
Yep.
I like an Alumni.
Yeah, that's what I was drinking here. So
in fact, that's probably now number 2 on the list of what I've spent the most money on. But I think it's Red Bull.
Yeah. Okay. See, I would say like Alani, I've kind of gone through. I went through some Celsius for a bit. Did it that way
not bad.
too.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad. But Red Bull Zero Sugar as well for that too. So can't really go wrong with.
But I do that on the road. If I'm driving somewhere or going somewhere, I'm usually a pretty standard get up in the morning, 2 cups of coffee, good to go kind of guy.
You got to be selective. But there's some people. Do you remember Sobe?
Yes,
dude. I remember somebody can try to convince me. It's like, oh man, this helps you lose weight. And I remember I was a fat kid, so I was like, oh man, I guess I better drink Sobe. And it didn't help. It was not that way.
It was like on Mean Girls where it's like, oh yeah, my mom eats these protein bars or whatever to lose weight. And
yeah, it like didn't help at all. It did not help at all. So, but yeah, anybody that's saying like, I don't ever drink energy drinks. Yes, you have. Shut up.
Have you tried the? I already know the answer to this. Has anyone tried the Sprite tea?
I've seen it. I have not tried it.
I have seen it too. I haven't tried it. I asked about it on the old X app, and there were mixed reviews.
I just don't understand why you would need tea and Sprite if that was the case. Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, Miller, come around over here. Come over here. I'm not going to get him on the mic, but I just want to introduce everybody here as we are at Alumni Hall. This is my nephew, Miller. Glad you can make it. How are you? Good. Yeah. Did you get you any cool stuff from Alumni Hall here? Did you get Cool Razorback stuff? What'd you get? What'd you get here? A golf cart? Yeah, it's a golf cart. You going to go play with that when you get home? All right, cool. All right. Appreciate it, man. See you later. Yeah, just wanted to introduce him there. So appreciate you. And made his debut. Hopefully that's actually his golf cart and he's not just walking out of here with it. But
we'll see if they have alarm systems.
Yeah. Porkestein just said Miller time. Fun fact, I have my brother. It's one of his 4 sons.
Oh.
And the youngest is Miller, or he's the third, and the youngest is Foster. So
okay.
Miller, Foster.
Nice. All right.
And ask me if any of them
Australian for kids.
Yep. But do ask him if any of them drink beer. Any of my no. Not at all. Not an ounce. So just part of it out there.
So the others aren't Bud and Coors?
Yeah, Bud and Coors. Yeah. Yeah. Michelob is one of the names. Yeah. Yeah, no, nothing like that.
I want to introduce you to Ultra.
Yeah. No, we appreciate that. It's been fun being out here at Alumni Hall. Again, 3417 North College Avenue. You can also just have that QR code, give that a scan, and use promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. We'll get to its chats before we close up shop here. Let's see. Camel Hog just says, if y'all could have a cold beer, an old cold beer with any Razorback ever, who would you choose? And you can't say John Daly. Can I say Jerry Jones?
Yeah, you can say that.
I'll say Jerry Jones. I feel like he's got a lot of stories.
I mean, I would legitimately love to have a beer with Sam Pittman.
Yeah, I would too.
I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, because he's the chill. Like, I'm not saying he just gets hammered, but it's like when he gets a few in him, he's the chill. Not going to be like doing dolphin dives off the rooftop, but he's going to be like laughing a lot, having a good time, just making some snide jokes. It's like, hey, you going in there to get ice? Just like random stuff like that. So that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah,
I don't think he drinks it, just to be honest. And he might, but man, drinking a beer with Cal would be pretty cool.
It would be cool.
Yeah. I feel like he's probably a wine drinker, though.
Oh, yeah, a little red wine. At home, scotch if he's out with the boys or something.
Yeah, and no bottle ever touches any sort of glass he's about to drink out of that ain't at least $500. Like he's that dude ain't coming in there and, I love the local company of Post, but I just don't think he's drinking Post wine inside of his own home. That's for sure. A few other ones here. Hogs by Night says, do they have a Devin Bale jersey? If not, I might pass. I don't know. I don't think they have a Devin Bale jersey here at Alumni Hall, but I'm sure you could order one if you wanted one. What number is he? Is he 30, 31, I think? Something like that.
Gotta be honest with you.
I don't either. I know we're not, we should know exactly what the number is for the punter of the University of Arkansas Razorback football team, but I tell you
37.
what, 37. There you go. So, if you come in here though, they might be able to get you a special hookup. But you just gotta check it out, because I guarantee you though, if Alumni Hall doesn't have it, it doesn't exist, because they got everything here.
Unbiased Prim.
What did he say? I'll get one with DMAC, but he quit drinking, and that's good for him. So I'd have an O'Doul's with him. Yeah. There you go. Get a mocktail with him if that's the case. Yeah,
get O'Doul's.
An O'Doul's.
That was the original non-alcoholic beer or whatever. Now they've got so many different kinds.
Which I am never going to hate or anything, but I'm also like, why would you drink a non-alcoholic beer? Just don't drink beer. Drink something else that's better. Like, who is drinking beer that, for one, overwhelmingly because it tastes good, and two, O'Doul's being something that tastes just as good as what beer you would have. I don't know. I just felt like
I've never done an O'Doul's.
Yeah, just get a Coke Zero, my man.
I've tried the Athletic Brews though.
Those pretty good?
Those taste good.
I used to do one.
They actually taste good.
I used to promote them on my Locked On.
Really?
Yeah. They sent me some, but then they got stolen off my doorstep, so I never got a chance to try it out.
Yeah, no, I like those. But the thing about them too is most all of them, you still have to scan your ID or whatever, because they have trace amounts of alcohol in them anyway.
Okay, just trace amounts.
It's not like you can just if you're a kid, I don't think you can just go buy a Athletic Brew or something and just start slugging them out there in front of God and everybody. So.
A few more here. Austin says, who of the drafted Razorbacks in the NFL do y'all think will get the most playing time? I think I've seen that Landon's hurt. I didn't see that, but I'm not saying you're wrong. I have not checked on if Landon Jackson's hurt.
I think I saw he got put on the PUP list, maybe. I don't.
Let's see. It says they activated Landon Jackson.
Oh, so maybe he just was on it for a minute.
Activated off of PUP list.
Okay, good.
So
good. Then yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
probably the answer
for me.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool. Like, I think Tess Law, because as a wide receiver, I think it's easier to see the field, more as a rookie. Mm-hmm. But I could see that happening too.
I see David says Andrew Armstrong. I legitimately think he'll wind up making that roster.
I do too.
I do.
I do too. I think he's good enough, even though, what was it people were trying to say? It was like, just off the field stuff. It's like, I don't think that exists. I don't think that's a thing. Let's see. Also, this is from Marty. Just a quick question. Why does it seem like you guys hate on the Hogs football team so much? Because I hate the Razorbacks, obviously. Can't stand the Razorbacks, man. I want them to lose every single step of the way. I hate them.
I really do wonder I don't know if this is directed at the chat or at us, but I got to say, and I responded during the Crane interview.
Yes,
I responded to somebody, but it's like, I think people might be misinterpreting just talking about the reality of the situation versus hate.
Yes.
Because I don't know how many times we say, hey, I hope they ball out. Hope they do great.
Hope they win.
Man, get us 4-0 going into Notre Dame. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Here's why I wouldn't be slitting my wrist if they went 6-6 this year. It's not hate at all. I love the Razorbacks. I want them to do well. But the reality of the situation is they're picked 14th in the SEC.
Yep.
I didn't put them there. This was not me.
Mm-hmm.
This was not us.
Nope.
And we're not even saying that we agree with that. The reality of the situation is if they go 6-6, that's outperforming those expectations. It's not hate.
No.
And then, the whole conversation about Pittman and coaching, all those different things, like, is this going to be acceptable for him? These are just valid conversations to have. Mm-hmm. And nobody here wants to see the Razorbacks do poorly. Nobody here wants to see anybody lose their job. And I know there's some other places out there that are pushing the narrative that we push in there. And we just don't, man. They're projected to not be good at football this year. And it's up to you guys whether you agree with that or disagree with that. We're all going to have our own opinions, and we'll put out our predictions as we get a little bit closer to the year and everything like that. But there's just no hate here, man.
Nope.
And the people who do that, and it's like, oh, it's just always negative when you talk about Arkansas football. They're kind of in a negative spot right now.
Trust me, we won games as badly as anybody. So that way, because here's the deal. If they smoke Alabama A&M like they should, we're going to come on there and be like, we're not going to start the tree and be like, well, this game doesn't matter. They still stink. They suck. Like, no, we're going to be happy. It's like, all right, here's some really good things that happen. But, that's why everyone needs games. Because if Arkansas was going in with a new year coach this year, we'd probably be more excited. And people would be like, man, why do you guys why are y'all being so positive here? Why are you guys doing it? It's like, it's just about the situation you're in, man. That's why off season, pros and cons, but who cares? We're just going to get here for the season, which is 36 days away from today.
We're getting there, man.
Yep.
Getting close.
So, any final thoughts, Curtis, before we roll out of here from Alumni Hall?
It was awesome being here.
Yeah, it was good to be back. Like you said, it wasn't 2 months, but it was close to it because we came in the very beginning of June and now in July. So
and I assume we'll probably be back, or we'll try to be back before football season starts.
We will be here the Friday before the Alabama A&M game on August 29th. So that Friday we'll be live from here.
Well, that's good. I'm looking forward to that. I am really surprised. It's it's been like a month to 6 weeks or however long since we've been here, and they've got all kinds of other new stuff since the last time we've been here. So definitely come out here, get hooked up, get ready to roll, get your apparel for Razorback football season, and continue to rock with us, man. We got a lot going on. I let everybody know this morning, by the way, I want to give a PSA right here too. There will not be a pot at the Palace tomorrow. Not going to be one. Got baby classes, man.
Those are important.
I got to go learn about breathing and birthing and all those things. So not doing one tomorrow morning. So don't DM me about it. I'm telling you right now. Okay. But hopefully we'll be able to have one on Sunday. If not, we'll be rolling again next week. But
is that something you can just ask? You can just ask Grok about or anything? Like, can figure that out?
Yeah, they can figure that out.
Watch a YouTube video.
And if you're mad about it, blame Michelle. She's making me go.
Yeah, direct all your angry DMs to Michelle.
Yeah.
She needs some of those right now, so I'm sure. But either way, and to echo what Chris said, it's great to be out here at Alumni Hall. It's the greatest Razorback apparel shop known to man, it's not even close. I mean, I know that there's a lot of pretenders out there, but this one far and away is the best. So if you need any sort of Razorback apparel, it could be something as simple as these jerseys, which we're wearing, which are awesome. Or if you want Johnny O polo shirts, like the high-end stuff, they got it. They have hats galore. They have an entire wall of hats. They have decor. They have footballs up there, autographed signed footballs. They're footballs you can get autographs from. Like, they have everything here. They got the overalls, which I know is popular among some, the striped overall ones, for students and whatnot, but they got those.
Well, I'm gonna have to get a little bit of clarity here from the staff, because I've seen them all in those overalls, and then they were in the jerseys, and then they were in some different t-shirts. I think they've been, maybe it's like a photo day, you know what I mean? Like trying to get everything going, but they're representing well.
Doing the TikToks and stuff over there, I'm sure too. And also, I just want to end on this note from Michelle. She says, Curtis needs to know how to not joke around when I'm in labor.
It's just
good luck.
Okay, and this is a conversation me and her have had about behind closed, like when I'm in the house with her, I get a little, I'll say some crazy things, some wild things, right? But I know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. I mean, when she's screaming and freaking out, and we're about to welcome a life in this world, I know the boundaries. I don't need a doctor to tell me that. I got this, man.
It's your wife. It's just if we see Curtis with a black eye after the great event of the child coming into this world, we'll know why. Just too many jokes, too much joking around. So either way, but we appreciate all of you tuning in. Appreciate you watching in today. Appreciate Alumni Hall here in Fayetteville for having us out once again. Be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas for all of your Razorback content. You can also follow along on social media at Inside Arkansas. You can see all of our podcasts in audio form, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, or the Bombastic Podcast. In every way, shape, or form, it's there. So again, appreciate all of you. For Curtis Wilkerson, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel next Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you then.